Sure. Good evening, everyone, or magandang gabi to all of the people from the Philippines, but good evening to the people from Malaysia and Singapore, and welcome to our Community Gladiators Season 2 Ascension, where the legends are born, brother. They ascend. There we go, and that's tonight. My name is Super Clark. Here with me, my partner, Vince G. How are you, brother?
I am doing great, and I'm so excited to see players ascend their way to the top. We're talking about BR here, so we're going to be seeing players climb into the scoreboard, and let's see who is that player that is going to ascend, because that's the name of the game. That's the name of the season, Ascension. It's all about the climb. It's all about the grind, and hope you guys are doing well tonight, and we're going to be seeing a lot of action, so yes, please bear with us because you cannot keep your eyes out of the screen because it's gonna be exciting.
High octane battle tonight, and not only the players from the Philippines, we have Natasha, Baozu, Hai, and Orna7 from the MYSG community. And again, this is Philippines, Malaysia, and Singapore, and we are now at the BR Solo Grand Finals.
This is gonna be hard for the players because you're talking about solo. You're gonna be by yourself. But based on our tournament schedule, they have been playing since June 25th. Up until today, they reached the grand final stage July 11th, of course, July 9th and July 10th, the previous days before this day. Of course, we've seen BR, squad, and the multiplayer 1v1. Tomorrow, it's going to be the MP. You know, we're going to be seeing multiplayers being played out tomorrow. But this time around, we have to focus on the BR squad. But Clark, let's check this out. There have been 44 players in the qualifiers, reduced to 30. But right now, it's just 20 players today.
20 best players for tonight's BR Solo. It was clearly a grueling matches in the journey that they had just to be part of the grand final. So that's the reason we are all excited tonight to see how the players will be playing in this BR Solo grand finals. Especially we have 4 Kings Yato. We are seeing that, we know last night that the 4 Kings being crowned as champion for the BR squad, and definitely you guys are seeing the champion from the BR squad got $2,000 but tonight BR Solo, the champion will be getting $500 $300 for the second and $200 for the third.
This is what we mean by winner takes all, because there's no squad for you to share the prize pool. 500 USD, it's all yours if you have been the champion, the first placer in this entire tournament. But of course, second place 300, third place $200. So a lot of these in total, they'll be getting $10,000. We've seen, you mentioned multiplayer teams. Of course, that's gonna be tomorrow. BR squad 4K, they had been on the top. So if you're rooting for this team, probably we're going to be seeing Yato. Can he have that momentum in him from yesterday? Can he bring it here in this solo?
Oh, that's really a good point, because we know for a fact that the 4 Kings Yato, he has a lot of champion under his belt. He's definitely the member of the 4 Kings, right? One of the biggest BR clans in the Philippines. They were the champion of the last Community Gladiators BR duo event. Second placer for Garena Elite Philippines BR division, and ranked first in his bracket during group stage. Not only that, we're talking about earlier that we have Philippines, Malaysia, and Singapore. We also have Luke Chiang, who ranked second in his bracket during the group stage. And speaking of the group stage, brother, we have the Isolated round 2 blackout. We're back to the Isolated, blackout, Isolated, and blackout. That's the rotation of today's matches. And let's see how the other players will plays out tonight, because this is not only dedicated to the Philippine players. We have Singapore and Malaysia. Not only Luke Chiang is the prominent player that we have for tonight, we have Orna7 as well from MYSG. Orna7, he was ranked first in his bracket during the group stage. So the question there, if he will be doing the same thing, how consistent, or in the 7 grabbing the champion as we start the battle. Good evening, everyone. This is Community Gladiator Season 2. The battle begins now.
And it finally took off. Players are now jumping in chutes and trying to pick a spot where they are going to drop. And we can see the players trying to position themselves, but let's see how can they survive. Yesterday, we've seen squads trying to work their way together to ascend to the top, but in this mode, in this BR, it's all about you surviving alone. It's all by yourself up against 19 other players in this island, in this map. So you have to do whatever it takes for you to somehow survive. Might be, outwit, outsmart your opponent, but let's see how can you do in this map. How can you be clever in this situation?
Being smart is the key. Let's see how this is going to go right now. As we start, we are seeing all of the players definitely grabbing all of the resources and the juices to their chosen drop point. And we are seeing right now standoff the map and going on to the different location right here. We are showing you the team A, and let's see how this is going to go. As you guys are seeing right now, we don't see any engagement yet, brother, because, well, in BR Solo, we have a definitely bigger map to play with. So that's the reason we don't see any engagement yet. But looking at the map, brother, from the left corner, they are separated from each other. And right now we're going to the New Vision City. So in the New Vision City, Vince, there's a lot of things that you can do. You can get some cash, you can upgrade, and you can buy your loadout right away.
Yeah, and the players definitely, they're just isolated within each other. They're trying to set distance, and with this freedom that they have here, brother, they're gonna try to, pick everything that they need, from items to armor. They need to prepare, they need to gear up, and they had the liberty to do so. They have to explore this map while they're just thinking of ways. What can we do if we encountered someone here? Are we gonna engage full on, or are we gonna try to use tactics in this kind of situation? But for now, it's all about checking houses, all about checking corners, checking out the floor, cleaning up house, picking up items that you will be using in this. But I'm not seeing any possible engagements, not until someone decided to get close into another area.
That is definitely true, and that's the reason we don't see any engagement yet. But looking at it from the POV right now, someone sharing the same location in a Sakura to where we are seeing Team B, no other than AXP Blue. Blue, by the way, is one of the best players and the prominent players that we have in BR community. As we start the battle, connecting a few shots, and DVK Drex is about to really do some reset because of the damages that he got.
Wow, amazing. I mean, for this bout, they're not wasting any time. Once you see your opponent, there's no time for you to waste. You need those points. You need to reduce the numbers. You have to do everything in order for you to eliminate the threat. And that's how you get into the top. And with that information that you have, there's someone. Are you gonna use tactics on this? Are you gonna try to play your cards right, or are you gonna lure it into some open area, and then from there you can easily open up? But of course, these players have classes. They can use their classes as an advantage in this situation. Grappling hooks are a thing, but can they grapple their way out of some sticky situation if they wanted to escape?
Mechanical skills is the key, right, brother? And that's what we are talking about. Ninja class is one of the meta that we have for the current season. So let's see if there will be any players who will be using some ninja class, and definitely use that as, like brother Vince is saying earlier, as one of their advantages to get a better position, higher ground, and definitely attack aggressively.
Now, eyes in the sky, Chopper trying to, get into another safe position, but does he realize that he's passing a lot of players? down there, but you know, it's all about prioritizing his safety. I need to get into a safe spot. That's why I'm gonna use the chopper, get some ice, make sure that rotations are gonna be fast, and the circle is quite shrinking, and players needs to, you know, get into the middle of the circle where it's safe. So aside from you spotting an opponent, there's not a single engagement yet. No casualties, no elimination, but it seems like they wanted to go on this one. Ayaw ko na. He needs to be concerned about his life because judging by his IGN, he doesn't want to fight. He just want to win.
All right, let's see if he really wanted to win. Ayaw ko na in English. I don't want it to do it anymore. I don't like it anymore. But let's see if he still wants it to grab the W at the very end. As we are seeing right now, we are seeing a player onto the high ground and checking the location. Let's see if that's going to be a clever way to attack or push in.
Oh. So he's now outside, probably. He's gonna try to, you know, endure some ticking damage outside just to get a glimpse of his opponent. Ayaw ko na here is just staying in where he's at. So Luke Chiang is looking for an opening to spot his opponent and then go for the kill. But they're just playing it safe right now. If they're gonna be enduring these damage over time, it's gonna be fine by them. But Luke Chang, it seems like he's going towards another player, and that is Natasha. And we've got this guy right here. He's just observing this pretty solid chopper, probably waiting for another player to cross that circle, and then he's gonna go for the kill. So ice, can he go ice cold when someone is here? I mean, waiting for him to pop off.
And here we go. Let's see if we're going to see any battle. He got a high ground earlier, but changing the POV to a different player right now. Let's see how this is going to go because TPBRG is out here. And definitely DBK Drex, he got his own loadout earlier. I've seen it from the killer feed, but let's see how this is going to go because running to the hill with the muscle car, maybe it's a quicker way to go up. And just like that, Kang Kwong, all right, getting some damage already, but also able to dodge the bullets. So that's really something that he needs to do some reset and buy some time before he attacks.
Well, for Kangkong, he pretty much received some solid damage there, but glad he's alive. You know, someone is not gonna revive you in that case. You're gonna get eliminated from the game. So when he's alive, when he can heal up, yes, he can do it. But right now, I mean, look at this guy. He's not forgiving Kangkong. He just wanted to live. He just wanted to escape. He's riding out of this entire circle, and this guy, he wants to chase him out of the circle. So, Kangkong, you need to run. You need to be safe and make sure you stay in a better spot, or probably rule him out and then take him out there. So, it's his call. What does he gonna do here?
There we go. Let's see what's going to happen. And Maxi being found earlier on the top, as you can see right now, the player Team K Maxi trying to somehow check the perimeter and checking out all of the corners of this dormitory building. The question there, if he know that someone underneath him, but I think he got some intel, and he's definitely taking that info, but also being damaged. So finally, we are seeing some knockdown. That's insane coming out from Orna 7. Orna 7 from MYSG getting the first blood.
Wow, first casualty of this map, and it had been bloody. Once he sets his sight on the target, he doesn't lose that aggression. He managed to knock him down and then go for that elimination, reducing the numbers game. So that means he has to be worried about 18 more players, but we can see high. I mean, he's high up there in the mountain and probably looking for Mackley, trying to chase him up there. So if I were high, might as well go low, stay low, and not not for Mackley to spot me, but Mackley here seems like he's just hiding in the tree. For him, I'm gonna grapple my way near, but I'm just gonna use this to go down that high ground.
Definitely, but right now, outside of the safe zone we go. I don't see any engagement, but he's trying to be passive, and that's the key in surviving. That's what we're talking about earlier. Brother Vince G is talking about how to survive longer so that they can, or the players that we have, still be able to somehow find a greater opportunity to knock down any soldiers, as we are seeing right now. Bowser cracking the vessel ready. So let's see how this is gonna go, because the Team 15 and Extend Doofen, let's see, with the throw of the frag, doing some miracle shot.
Wow, this guy is making sure the gatekeeping works in his favor. He's not letting Baoju inside the circle. He's just making sure that if you're gonna stay there, I'm gonna get that kill. But Baoju she's still alive, and she's waiting for that move. Probably she can still endure the damage outside the circle, but can he rotate though? Can he get inside safety? But the only thing that's left for Baoju is that in order for her to get inside the circle, she needs to somehow rotate upwards or downwards, because that's the safest part of the map. I mean, it's quite open. No one is guarding that spot.
Definitely true. As we rotate, we are showing you the player and Extend Doofen with the Antelope trying to chase out Baoju with the ORV and trying to get away, creating some space right now. And meanwhile, we are showing you that Doofen still getting some damages outside of the zone, and he just really needs to be quicker just to avoid any further damages in front of him. The player Baoju, let's see, Ayo Kuna is also close to Baoju and drags. Oh my God, crawling to the ground already from the killer feed.
Oh, Drex. This is not gonna look good for him. No one's gonna pick him up at this rate. I mean, if I see Drex down on the ground, probably I'm gonna go for that point, go for that elimination. But 16 players left in this battlegrounds. I mean, 911. You definitely need to dial this number, because you definitely need some help. But this guy is not going to help you after all. He's going to try to get your life. And we can see other players trying to rotate. Luke Chang is inside the circle trying to gatekeep. Kangkong 911 is also there trying to hide into the Sakura tree. But Kangkong, can you rotate though? He's going to try to play hide and seek. Are you going to play tag with them? No, I'm just staying here in the high ground, enjoying the cherry blossom view. Oh, Kangkong, you got spotted!
Oh, what a shot! Kangkong really need to do some research right now, or trying to be ready. Let's see. He might be doing some surprise attack to where player Doofen won't be able to react, and just like that, another damage, cracking out that vest, another one, but still not confirming that annihilation. What a skill being used, a toxic skill being used by Kangkong. But the question there, if Kangkong will be committed to push in or not, because so far they're not playing aggressive. They're still staying at their position. Like I've said, this is the battle of BR Solo, to where there's no help, there's no support.
No support, it's all about you. And that is gonna be a three-way battle that you need to rethink. No one is your ally in this situation, but for Luke, he's looking for potential opening in that fight. But now, the zone is gonna shrink, timers counting down, and we can see that the players are heading towards their position, probably staying where they're at, and waiting for some possible movement, like this guy in the car. I mean, he's gonna try to park his way through, get some items, equipped with a heavy armor on hand, just to toughen up and be a tanky guy when there's someone's gonna try to hurt you. But can he withstand the damage? I mean, that's a quick drive-by and then reposition. He's going towards the position of 911, and Spec is also there. I mean, they have to be careful if they want to survive.
Right, and surviving is the key, and that's the reason we're seeing Luke Chiang is getting closer from the airdrop to where he can definitely take the advantage of getting some resources or maybe golden attachment. Meanwhile, we are showing you Natasha, one of the players from the MYSG community, also checking out TMW, one of the prominent teams that we have on the list. Eyes is definitely trying to warm up and trying to take his time, and Mavs also knowing the location of his opponent. He got the intel. The question there, how smart he is in using that information.
He needs that information in order for him to analyze the situation, in order for him to analyze his opponent's grappling hook near the rock. And now he's gonna try to hide himself through. He goes inside the circle, moves. Now low on life. He's being chased down. Doofin is after his life, and Doofin here is staying outside. And Mills is gonna try to grapple his way out, but he doesn't realize that there's someone there waiting patiently. If this guy managed to get the final blow, just like what Melvs got happened there, 911 here. He's being punished here by RG, but he's looking from behind because Doofin is just down there. So there's a lot of actions happening here, Clark.
911 being called out. Sandwich situation. Open area battlefield. That's the reason. And it's a good thing he got some muscle car that he can definitely use going up to the hill. But in his surprise, there's going to be a 2 soldiers in front of him. So let's see how this is going to go. And he noticed that one. A great recognition. And Ayokuna still showing that he still likes it. He's still looking for a victory, but Duven really being active. He got a first blood. Let's see if he can add more.
Well, we're seeing 13 players in this small circle. Players are being compressed, and now it's punishing for each and everybody. Grenade and a gun to take him out. And Ayokuna, he got literally punished here by 4K Yato, giving him a reason to give up in this map. And this time around, we're going to be seeing Yato looking for another potential victim as Kangkong, of course, surviving with that punishment. He's going to walk his way through, but high. He's going to go high in the rocks. Now on the high ground, he went to Kangkong, chases him off, goes close, grapples his way out of the circle. And for high, he's not welcoming him inside.
He's still able to manage to survive, bro. And as you guys seeing, we are seeing majority of the players are clearly using the ninja class. As we all know, ninja class is definitely the one of the meta classes that we have from current season. And 4 Kings Yato, definitely all of the fans of the 4 Kings clearly watching closely Yato. If Yato will be able to still grab the W at the very end, but Kangkong getting some damages at the edge of the save zone. Let's see how this is gonna go, because we still have 8 soldiers on boot. Some of the players are still outside. Yato on the move right now with the use of that Hades. Let's see if he can definitely get inside. There we go. That's gonna be his place, but Kangkong loses the battle. Can you imagine? And just like that, we are seeing some players right now having a better precision.
There's an issue here.
Players are now dropping, and now it's down to 5, Clark. 5 active players inside the circle as we are nearing the end game of this first map. Who is gonna emerge? Who is going to ascend as these players gonna try to climb up to the Ascension ladder? RG being targeted right now, but high. Look at that, how high you go, how high you drop. He got taken out.
He is definitely taken out. That's clearly a devastating loss out there. Looking the remaining soldiers. 4 soldiers on boots right now. TPGRG still being alive. And also trying to find a way to survive. Let's see if he can make a play, because he got a high ground earlier. And Luke Chiang still trying to prove that he got some skills, being the second placer from the group stage. But right now, Mackley knocking down Luke Chiang. Oh my god. And Toshi right now definitely trying to survive and still trying to make it to the top. TPGRG, there's gonna be a battle, a 1v1, brother. Who will grab the win? Is this gonna be DRMS Mackley against TPBRG?
Now, out of the 20 players, Clark, it all boils down to Mackley and RG. Battle of wits, battle of endurance, battle of strategy. Mackley on the high ground, RG decided to hide in that box as he go further. Gets close to Mackley, Mackley down, and he go for the kill. Last guy standing. Mackley, what an aggressive play to the top.
TPBRG clearly able to ascend the first round isolated map. What a great battle indeed. He is clearly the smartest guy to the group, and that's only a first round, brother. It's only a first round, but let's see how this is gonna go once we show you the match results later on, and definitely the overall rankings once we have all of their performances. But so far, what a great victory to TPBRG.
Congratulations to RG. That is so close. Mackley and RG gets close to one another. I even thought Mackley got the final blow, but RG decided to finish his story as we check on this highlights. I mean, right from the start, this guy punishes Doofen, managed to punish Maxi out of this game as the first casualty. And then, you know, a lot of things happened here and then until we got reduced to final 8, final 9, and then, you know, it's gonna be a lot of controls in the circle.
Right, and we are seeing the cleverness of each players taking away all of their opponents slowly but surely. Some of the players being passive, some of the players being aggressive, and TPBRG clearly take the advantage of the haters to grab the victory at the very end. That was crazy, insane match on our first round isolated map.
Wow, it was quite hot for the first round that we witnessed, and there's 5 more. That's just the solo BR, and it's all about these players trying to toughen up their way to the top. And all I can say is that I wanted to see what can they do in the next map. So in the order of the map rotations, Clark, I mean, we're done with the isolate. It's now time to darken things up in the blackout. So who in this map is going to be the last player standing? That's what I want to see. So if RG did survive in this isolate map, so is he gonna continue the streak again, or is another player gonna step up?
Let's see. That's really interesting topic, and we talked about a lot of the stand-up players like Four Kings Yato, Luke Chiang, and Orna 7, but at the very end, we're seeing a different player, TPBRG, right? So the question there, if Four Kings Yato will still be able to make it, we are moving forward to the blackout map, to where we know for a fact that we only have 20 players for this battle. But the blackout map is clearly a huge map for the 20 players. So it might be a long run, or maybe they're going to share some same location like the construction site building. Brother, that's a hot drop to where Four Kings keeps on dominating the construction site building. The question there, if Four Kings Yato will be choosing that construction site, or maybe choose a different one, right?
Yeah, it's all about choosing your sweet spot, your respective drops in that kind of map, and then how can you adjust into that circle, because at the end of the day, some circle is not going to be in your favor. But let's talk about what happened in that first map, where RG did manage to get 4 eliminations, and then he was that last guy who managed to stood tall and earned his juicy 10 points, earning him a total of 14. Mackley goes in second, getting a total of 9. But in terms of like kills, RG and Luke Chiang had that equal fair share of 4 juicy points. So there's a lot of points need to be worked out by the other players. But of course, in our second half, I mean, they're not gonna get any placement points, so they're gonna be hard stuck at 0. But hopefully in the next map they could earn points and probably be the last guy standing in that map.
earning some points. Clearly is the one that we're looking for Four Kings Yato. As you can see, he got 3 annihilation, so he just only need maybe to do more on the blackout map and clearly grab the victory so that he can have a bonus points, which is a 10 points, because RG right now being a top fragger with a total of 14 points, so that's really a top to be. But again, this is just the first round. Isolated map, we still have 5 rounds to go, and we are moving on to the blackout, to where there's a lot of things that can go wrong or somehow be in their play style to where they will be able to rise and perform well in a blackout map. And just so you know, Vince, in a blackout map, we might be expecting a lot of snipers and definitely the use of the vehicles available from the area, since it's a huge map.
Yeah, all about the distance. It's all about setting your distance with your opponent. So if you're good at handling sniper rifles and eliminating your opponents from afar, well, you know, snipers are really good gun to go. And as we go on a little recap on what happened in that first map, of course, we've got this guy who's, of course, crowd favorite from our chat right now. Of course, they're going crazy. RG marking his way into the first isolate map, but this time, who's gonna mark their way into that blackout map? So if you wanted to make a name for yourself, this is now the time for you to shine.
Shining is the key, but you gotta really make sure that you will be able to perform. And again, this is the blackout map. Welcome to all of the fans of Call of Duty Mobile. This is Community Gladiators Ascension Season 2 as we start the battle from the blackout map. And this is the flight path that we are seeing right now. Let's see if, again, Four Kings Yato will be choosing to the construction side. As we all know, he's on the slot A, and we are seeing right now that Yato might be dropping off to the construction side.
And the players are now dropping. Of course, they're not wasting any time. As you've said earlier, Clark, this map is quite huge, so there's a lot of patience. You need to have a lot of patience in this map. Other players, they decided to go on the high ground, probably dropping in that high-rise building, and they are going to descend further as we expand our game. So, now the players are definitely dropped into their comfort spot. It's all up to the circle to decide. Here, the circle decided to go in the middle. So for the players who drop north, it's not too late for them to go down in the middle. And for the players who drop south on the bottom of the map, I mean, it's not quite far of a rotation if they are going to rotate up into the circle,
right?
They have a lot of time.
That is definitely true. So let's see if the time will be the key for them to rotate quickly or not. But let's see. We are seeing earlier from the map, the team or the players, K and Bao Shu, they decided to drop off from the ghost town, to where there's not more players dropping off and choosing the ghost town because of the resources available from the ghost town. So let's see how this is gonna go. Baosu and Maxi, if I'm seeing it right, who will be grabbing the W from this map? Let's see and find out. But looking at from the POV, we have eyes from TMW attacking right away. With the rewind, but not enough because he was too late. But let's see. That's going to be a confirmed first blood coming out from eyes of TMW Esports.
Ice cold, just like his sights. Quite cold, but he's quite hot into that fight, and he's not wasting time. He didn't show mercy. He grabbed the first kill of this entire second map, and now things are getting much interesting because players, it's all about dropping, it's all about preparing. Baoshu, I think she needs to expect that someone is in this area. So if she encounters someone here, I mean, she can go for that elimination. Equipped by a lot of SMGs, is going for that faster action. So Maxi, I wonder what this guy is doing as to prepare for that battle.
Let's see and find out. So far, we're showing you Four Kings Yato. All of the fans of Four Kings definitely trying to see how Yato is doing in a blackout map, because he just really need to rack up more points in order for him to be crowned as champion. But again, we just started our blackout map to where we just only got the first blood. In construction side we go. Four Kings Yato, as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of spaces, a lot of corners that he can work with, and a lot of juices that he can have. Definitely collect some cash and buy his own loadout to be ready.
It's all about preparedness. Everyone needs to be ready in this map, as the circle is still there. Players are getting close, probably rotating. So it's all about getting the items prepared. So hopefully some other players, we can see some snipers being equipped. But in terms of like knowing that someone is nearby your area, and you know that it's just quite close, so they're just arming themselves with some SMGs, just like what we've seen earlier. And most likely the trend here is to play safe. Some people or some players decided to choose to drop into that building so they could maximize the loot. I mean, for Yato, he can choose to go in every floor if he wants to, just to make sure he gets the maximum loot possible and then grab the win in this map. But seems like there's no one here in this area yet to challenge him. And as we go on to another place here, Clark, so we can see Drex. You know, he picked something up here. SMRS being grabbed by this guy, but circle is now shrinking, so everyone needs to get in.
Here we go. Let's see if they're going to adjust the position, as we are seeing Team J and Team I close to each other, but we don't see any engagement yet, and Yato still focusing on getting a lot of loots from the construction site, and definitely after that, he's going to go ahead and buy his own loadout and upgrade his class. And Team S is also out there patiently waiting for Yato. Let's see how this is going to go. Up to the hill. High is definitely on top, definitely high ground, but let's see how long is High will be staying from that position. How is he going to scout and definitely find some intel to where he can decide if he's going to push in or not? Because so far I don't see any engagement, but so far I'm seeing right now from the killer feed there's some battle going on already. Let's see and find out who will be the players attacking to each other. Oh, still Tashi. And then CEO, is that a CEO? I think. There we go. And let's see, that's a 3 soldiers from the same location.
Yeah, they're in the same spot. And for Neo here, he's driving his way inside that area. For Yato right now, of course, one of the crowd favorites here. I'm seeing some chats right now looking for this guy. Are we gonna be expecting this guy holding a burger when he gets the win? Let's see. I mean, that's what the crowd is looking for. But of course, we need to look for the winner in this map. Mel's here, getting his rocket ready. He's loading him up. Can he target Chang? Can he finish him up? Can he launch that rocket launcher? Luke Chang, you have to stop. You have to look and you have to listen to that rocket just to survive.
I so love that. You gotta look, you gotta listen and survive. Chiang right now knows already because of the missile attack coming out from Mel's. This is gonna be interesting. And Chang still finding a great cover with the use of that little house. And he got some intel from the position of Mel's. Rotation being made already. So let's see if Chiang will be pushing in. But he got the advantage. He got the cover. So he just really need to be patient and be smart enough. But looking at it, he's definitely choosing about to drive the ATV, if I'm not mistaken, with the cloud of smoke being thrown already.
Oh, hello.
With a loud noise being made by the rally car attacking and wishing that Natasha be able to destroy that rally car, but no avail.
this is going to be off the
Yeah,
page a
he's
little
gonna.
bit.
Kong Kong is gonna get away with that, and Natasha will
So,
be chasing
pretty
him
easy to
off.
do, and you're gonna see
Maxi now
incredibly,
riding the
incredibly
vehicle, probably
necessary to
rotating to
understand
the
how
other
shapes are-
area,
shapes
but
are gonna be
for
everywhere.
Neo, of
And just a
course,
little bit
if
of
you see
background
me
about what
rolling in a
shapes
vehicle,
are, so
I'm
we
still
can actually
rolling.
define
I'm
them
still
properly.
rotating
Shapes
into
are
this
technically
big maps.
known
Maxi decided to
in
leave
both
his
game
vehicle up,
design
throws
and
in some
Photoshop,
smoke
and
just to
especially
hide my
illustrator
presence
as
or
vector
distract
types of
any
graphics, right? Which means that
potential
I can
players that is in
resize
my
things as
area,
quickly as I
but
want.
someone I
You'll notice
believe
that
is
it does not get
near
pixelated, right?
Max's
The edges stay
position.
nice and
But
clean
for
and
Mackley,
nice and smooth. And
okay,
that's kind of the
I
point of
survived
actually drawing out
for
the
too
shapes,
long.
is
I've
getting
ended up as
JPEG
the second
imagery off
place.
the internet,
But will the
drawing out,
blackout
actually
be the
GIF
map
vectors
that
on
finally
Gladiator
where I
on the
get
web.
to
It's
shine?
gonna look
Mackley's
really
quite
nice and neat.
hungry. He's just
So
craving, of
let's go
course,
ahead and
for that
draw
win.
out my
Definitely true,
rectangle
and he
and
knows
make
what to
these
do, and that's the reason he's playing
black.
passively and looking for a better chance to knock down the soldiers in NXC or Neo right now. I don't know how to pronounce that one, or maybe NCO or Neo maybe, but Neo grabbed the victory. That's his own first blood from his bag, and that's really a good win for him. So let's see how long can he be able to survive from this open air battlefield. And looking at Yato, as you can see, he got the upgraded rewind already. Definitely not choosing to use the meta class, which is Ninja, but let's see, he got a Zac 12. Oh my god, he just really need to fight and be closer for his opponent.
Discussing layers.
Well, if you're gonna be talking about rewind, of course they need that that skill, that ability to instantly teleport you back into the position seconds ago. Just restoring health, just confusing your opponents where you're at, and then going back on full health. So kind of like you need to play with your class. The rewind may be coming in handy, but look at this. Yato, ayaw ko na. Being on the sides of Direx, one rocket launcher can finish them off, but he decided that trigger discipline. He decided to choose one. Don't be greedy enough, because I don't want to waste bullets. I don't want to waste rocket launchers in that fight. So he's gonna be playing this one carefully.
You see the playstyles right now of all of the soldiers, brother? They keep on driving around the map with all of the vehicles available from the area. There's the one that I'm talking about, because Blackout is really a huge map, and it's kind of like it makes you crazy and being lazy just to run from this map. And that's the reason it's really understandable to all of the soldiers to really find their own vehicles to make it quicker from, bringing them to point A to point B, just like this one. We're seeing Hover Bike, but for RG being crowned as champion on the isolated map, he got his own loadout already in. He's ready to attack.
We're going to keep it just for the sake of this.
It's gonna be the readiness. It's gonna be the patience. How many players are there? D-Rex now aiming his sights towards Ice. No, he decided to come close. He doesn't want his target to get as far as he could. And now he's gonna be on the chase. But that's not just one, that's two. He's being chased at. He decided to go for the high ground, but I can see some bumper cars action here. Two vehicles colliding up against each other. NXCO here decided to climb a tree. Okay, you can play it out, but if I were him, I won't get down on where I'm at. I mean, that's a pretty solid spot.
That is definitely true. It's really a solid high ground position, and a lot of players clearly keeps on using that kind of play styles because it's one of the advantages that you can use, especially for this mode. BR Solo with the close quarter battle cracking out at this, but that's going to be hard for 4Kings Yato just because of the hover bike. It's really a quicker vehicle that you can target, and that's the reason 4Kings Yato keeps on adjusting the aim and still finding some perfect sightlines that he can close out so that he can get a first blood, because so far 4Kings Yato doesn't have any kill yet.
On this side, we can also do it with our properties. So we do that one more time. And I go over to here, double click.
And right now we are still seeing 4Kings Yato. I don't hear my partner Vince. There you go. I'm hearing brother Vince right now, but let's see. Kangkong. What do we have with Kangkong? Kind of like, the same player a while ago.
Click on this.
Yeah,
My color will
probably
change.
they discovered the
Now,
hidden talent of a
let's
tree,
just say
or probably
before
he's going back into his
all
roots.
the other
He's
options that
trying
can
to unlock his full
right? You can see
potential.
a lot
I
of
will
good stuff
stay in the
that we can
tree.
work with here.
I'm a plant
in terms
after
of
all. I'm
our
Kangkong, and we can see high right now,
on the
getting
page, if you wanna
a
be
lot of
precise
bullets
about it,
here from
I'll
Neo,
use
and
the height,
Neo
and
punishes
since
him
they're not
off.
the
I
exact
mean,
same
that's
size,
a
you'll be able
quite
to see
risky
that
dive.
right there.
Natasha, on
And
the other
again, we
hand,
can get
goes
our
for
fill,
ice,
we can change
and
our
now
strokes in
we
here.
are seeing
We also have
14
something
players
known
here.
as our
Clark
opacity,
dropping
right? So I wanna
off,
make
and
this a
that's
little more
one
kind of
less
like
guy.
see-through,
Mackley,
just for kind of a
the
fun effect.
second
I can
player
make
to
this a little
survive
more
in
see-through
the
just
previous
by bringing
map,
that down.
got
So let's say we
taken
bring it
out.
down
So
to about 74,
from 13,
75.
I believe
Ooh.
the action is now fast. Drex right now being chased out by Yato. Yato's going close. Drex is there. Yato goes low. He goes down. Yato, no one's gonna save you there. Drex drops you off guard.
A devastating loss from Yato because Yato doesn't have any annihilation yet, and Drex ending his game as early as we speak. Can you imagine Kangkong once again after having or spending some time on top of the tree right now? Kangkong with the use of that huge rock, seeing Toshi with the use of the frog grenades. Can we see some knockdown? Can we see some shutdown? Let's see if he can be able to control this one, because Kangkong is about to do some long range, and here we go. No avail, misses a lot of shots, and Toshi about to do some reset and definitely finding some great cover.
I am in the
Great cover indeed right now, Kangkong. Can you plant yourself there and pretend to be a plant? He went up into the tree, and if you're talking about camouflage, Natasha here, he's trying to go one with the nature as well, pretending to be a bush. But look at that guy, Ayoko now. He decided to go on top of Natasha, flew above his head. And now Ayoko now, most likely, he's just trying to go over every plant that he can see. Maybe in search of Kangkong, but Kangkong decided to go on another hiding spot. But Luke Chiang, he's looking for someone in that other barn, maybe a potential target. He sees one, but he doesn't know that there's another guy outside here. No, Baoju also is there nearby.
Let's see how this is gonna go, because Kangkong right now passing through. Luke Chiang got his cover from the huge barn, which is really great. But Toshi finding the perfect opportunity, seeing Kangkong. But the question there, if he's being committed to attack with the Yezibarez, but misses that shot. Long shot indeed, but no damage at all. But TPBRG, let's see if he can do some back-to-back rotating at the edge of the safe zone.
Rotation is gonna be the key. Players here, 11 standing right now, trying to somehow circle around the edges of this small circle, searching for potential kills. If you wanted to go on top, get some kills. 911 did not make the call. Natasha silences him off, and now we're down to 10. Kangkong is in this vicinity, in this area where RG, the guy that took home that victory in the last map, is scanning for someone that can contribute him to his points. 14! He gets 14 points last map, and in hopes of expanding that further and protecting that lead, I mean, he's gonna go for another victory and expanding his elimination points. But players are being sneaky, players are being patient. Toshi is in the edge, and now the circle is gonna force to push him inside. RG also there watching for some movements, but Toshi, you have to decide, are you gonna endure the punishment, or are you gonna go and run for your life?
Let's see how this is gonna go, because he's definitely using the edge of the
hello.
saves, and Toshi right now getting some damages already in Drex. Let's see if he can attack Toshi. Kangkong is also out there from this compound, and Toshi still got a great cover, but you gotta watch your six, because someone is at your back, and no other than TPBRG, like Brother Vince is talking about earlier, definitely trying to protect that lead with 14 overall points. Let's see if he will still be able to go back to back or now, but Luke Chiang playing passively and being clever, spending a lot of time inside of that huge barn.
This box here, you do not
Oh,
need
the
that
circle.
chest. Okay, just in
Look at this,
case.
Clark. The
Alright, so we can
circle.
go ahead and just
Anytime
cancel
soon is gonna
Now,
force
notice
these
this
players to
looks good,
see each
but
other.
not
Neo
great,
spots
because
Melvs,
what?
takes
This
him
is
out.
covering all of my
Lightsabers in
text and
action.
circles and all that
D-Rex
stuff, and that's
now
not
on
what I
top
want.
of the roof,
So how do I
throwing
fix that?
something in
How
that
do I
tree.
make it
He
look
knew
how I
that
want it? 'Cause
someone
what
is
we'll
there
do
hiding.
is to make
Ayoko
it
na.
so
Most
this
likely he doesn't
picture
want to start a
is
fight in this
behind all my stuff,
situation.
but
Neo
the
on that
front
hay
of
ball. Oh, Luke!
Oh,
Neo! He
if you
got
look over
punished
here,
heavily
we
and
have
that name
our
pop.
image name
And
that's
Luke
right here,
here,
and all of our other
he's
shapes,
gonna
other
look
text and
for
everything like that
more.
right
He's
underneath
not
it.
done.
So very
Ayoko
simple.
na
All I have to
grabs
do is
this
just grab this
opportunity
down.
as he
Just,
goes
kind of
inside
make
the
lessons
shack
about
as
working
Luke
with
Xiang
weapons. So
is
just
gonna
kind of
run for his
go all the way,
life, and
right
now
above
they switch
rectangle, and look at
places.
that.
what a great
Cool.
rotation coming out
There
from
it
Luke.
is. Love
A
that.
great
That was
recognition of
better.
that danger.
Alright, I'm gonna show you
He
later
got
on
his
how
own
we
cover
do
once
images
again.
more specifically in
Drex
terms of
definitely trying to be
resizing
aggressive earlier. He
and all
got
that
to.
good stuff,
He's the
right? So we do
one
that
knocking
with
down
this
4 Kings
lesson.
Yato.
But this
Meanwhile,
point, I want you
Ayoko now with the
caught up.
ninja
Let's
class
do
able
some
to
basic text,
elevate,
and then
going
also
on to the
placing
top, and
images,
here we
and
go.
then
3
placing
soldiers,
images
and just like that, Ayoko now
Oh!
able to grab the win.
Oh!
Oh, TPBRG for the third party, bro. He managed to knock down easily. Toshi, and just like that, we are seeing a 1v1 once again. Is this going to be a back-to-back, bro? Or not?
Some images. We also
Wow,
reset
RG popping up, but the challenger, I must say, is Drex. Drex right now quite hungry. He needs that point, and he's looking for a way to kick him off. Now he's in the open. RG at the edge. RG checking the chopper if there's someone hiding in there, but RG now exposing himself from potential danger. Nades being thrown. Directs not moving an inch. This guy is the man who can't be moved. RG, your opponent isn't there. It's just hiding in that rock. He's just trying to get a feel, but Directs here is not moving. Oh no, RG quite confused where his target is, but he knew he's locking in. The smoke is gonna try to hide Directs in that one, and they're gonna be forced to meet in the middle. RG, no, he uses his gun. RG right now unleashing a bolt of barrage. Directs now being knocked, and he's gonna go for the win.
A back-to-back win. TPBRG claiming the victory at the very end. What a great gameplay. A clever way to end the Blackout map round with a combination of SMRs, Hades for the LMG, and with a great combination of diversion with a Cloud as smoke. What a smart move to end the round with a bag. TPBRG claiming the W at the very end.
W for RG for the second time. Now establishing his dominance, earning a lot of points to keep his position safe and warm. Can he, this guy, RG, can he continue to be the top guy? We still have 4 more maps to play out, but for Drex, that's a huge step up, because on the previous map, Clark, he did not get any points, but
that's
in
correct.
this map, ending in the top 2, well, he's got a bad point. So if he wants to be the top contender for RG, he can possibly do it, but he needs to dominate in the next few maps.
Let's see and find out, because the one that we are showing you from the highlights, definitely the third party, clearly works out well on the side of TPBRG with the Hades huge damage, and Drex not able to really make it because of that damage. That was clearly a dominance from TPBRG. What a great win. Clearly a back-to-back, and deserve a clap to TPBRG. Now, the question there, we keep on talking about the stand-up players, the prominent players like Luke Chiang, Orna 7, but Luke Chiang got 3 earlier, but Orna 7, I don't see him performing. Four Kings Yato, too unfortunate for him. He got eliminated early by Drex, and Drex also, because of the third party, not able to make it. And at the same time, TPBRG ending his game because of the use damage from the Hades. That was really a great story and a great narrative that we are seeing right now all throughout this two rounds already. We are coming back to Isolated, to where it's going to be a smaller map once again. If TPBRG knows how to play in Isolated, why not, you know, do the same thing on the third round?
Yeah, not get only a single victory. You get already two, but can you go for third? That's gonna be a great. That's gonna be the challenge that RG needs to prove in this next map. He did well in Isolated, but this is the second Isolated, and I must say that people or players did already get the feel on playing in the first two maps. So let's just say that they're just trying to wake up from the early maps, and now that they got their fingers ready, it's time for them to get some points. And speaking of points, for the match, it's just RG. Imagine this guy getting 14th in the first map, and now we've got him getting 13 here. So Drex, of course, as the second guy to be left in this map, he got 9. And then Luke Chang, of course, we've seen this guy popping off kills, 6 total points for this map alone. But a lot of players are stepping up, and the highest potential kills that we are seeing here, 3 from RG, Drex, Chang, and Neo, of course.
Right, and we are seeing some dominant execution of the strategy of TPBRG. You got some patience. And looking at the overall rankings right now, so you are seeing the top fragger, TPBRG, with 27 total points, and Luke Chiang clearly living out and being consistent in terms of his performance, not only showing that he's the second best player from the group stage. Right now, he's at the second again from the overall rankings of the two previous rounds. Can you imagine that one? And Toshi able to make it to the third, but the crowd favorite, where you at? Four Kings Yato is at the 8 placers. So the question there, from the 3 rounds remaining, if he's going to really, you know, exert a lot of effort, do a lot of work, or somehow do some miracle shot in order for him to really rack up a lot of points, and hoping to grab the W to get some extra points and have a better overall rankings at the very end. Let's see how this is gonna go. That's really an interesting points that we are talking about right now. All of the rankings that are being shown already as we start the battle, moving on to the third round. And again, we're gonna go back to Isolated map. Let's see how this is gonna go.
I love that you mentioned Yato in that overall. Currently ranking 8 overall. So, of course, he's one of the fan favorites. I can see it from the chats. But, of course, before we talk about Yato, it's time for us to hydrate, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to get back here on the Call of Duty Mobile Community Gladiators Season 2 Ascension. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Alright, everyone, I hope you get your hydrations because the first two maps is quite hot. So I lost a lot of sweat, just seeing those games. But of course, we're back. I drank a lot of water, hope you guys did. And we are back here at the Call of Duty Mobile Community Gladiators Season 2. Glad to have you back, Vince G and Super Clark. And we have witnessed two maps, but a single winner, a single guy dominating that entire map. So the question would be, are we gonna see some fresh faces? Are we gonna see this guy in that picture later on?
Berg.
I don't know if you know that guy. I believe you guys know.
That's something that I wanted to see and witness to see, and it's more fun to see any other faces from this grand finals of the BR Solo. And let's see, because we still have some 4 matches to go. Right now we're gonna go back to isolated map, and definitely the crowd favorite once again is 4Kings Yato, but he's not really performing. Maybe there's a lot of pressure under his belt, we don't know yet, but let's see. Or maybe he's just warming up, we don't know. But the top fragger, a force is to be reckoned with, is no other than RG. Definitely, this is not an RG. This is really a grand finals, but RG clearly doing it well, and it's like making it looks like easy for him to do a back-to-back because he's very smart on how to do some third party, finding a perfect opportunity, and using that huge damage with Hades and a combination of SMRS.
Well, it's a lot of skills, a lot of tactics, and RG decided to stay on top. And a lot of recap, of course, as I've said earlier, 2 maps done. Single guy dominated that 2 maps, but are we gonna see the same result in this second isolated map? So is this going to be a map that is being dominated by RG, or are we gonna see some fresh faces in our scoreboards that is going to contend or compete with RG into getting that top prize? And as we all know, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about a huge prize pool. $500 is at stake, and that's why they need to pop.
That is definitely true, and we're talking about offline. That's a lot of money, right? Especially if you're getting the whole $500, and we're talking about the fresh faces on the next few rounds for this grand finals BR Solo. And the possibility would be from maybe Luke Chiang, because he got a total of 14 and being the second placer in terms of overall rankings. As we start the round 3 of tonight's matches, welcome once again to the Community Gladiator Season 2 Ascension, to where legends aren't born, they ascend. As we start the battle now.
Bounding box or this one. Since we already saw this one
is starting, the plane is heading towards the east. Players are dropping fast as they're grabbing everything they need to grab in order to survive. And right now, of course, this is the second isolated map, and you wanted to have a different result. But if I were RG, of course, I wanted to have the similar result. I want to dominate all 6 maps. And as we can see, the players are dropping. And now a lot of them, of course, are focusing on the bigger loots. Get a pretty decent item, load up with some powerful guns, get some armor to tanken up, and, vehicles in order for you to rotate. So some players drop in the nuclear plant. Some of them decided to go for the refinery. One player on standoff, and oh boy, the circle. It's just down south. So players who drop north, you need to come down.
That is true, but 4Kings Yato had a different challenge. This time, he's sharing a location. So let's see how this is going to go. If 4Kings Yato will still be able to make it to the top, or somehow perform well for this Isolated. Let's see if he can get a first blood. Looking down to Blue right now, one of the pro players that we have on the list, but still Blue not able to perform well on round 2. So let's see if this is going to be his chance right now to shine, because we're talking about it a lot, but Blue clearly doesn't have any annihilation from the 2 previous rounds. So let's see how he's going to perform on round 3, as we are seeing some players right now. Neo from this location heading over and getting some juices. This is the one that I'm talking about, to where 4Kings Yato is just closer from this map. Let's see if there will be any engagement.
He's just snowboarding his way into the snowy mountains, but you know, he doesn't even realize that someone is there. You know, it's really hard for you to be reckless. You're just running out in the open without even realizing that there's a possible player hiding in that house. Yato is now above the roof. Neo or NXEO, he's being careful. Yato, can he sense some potential danger here? He's just trying to sense it out. He has this gut feel that there's someone in this building, in this house. He needs to check it out. So for Yato, he's gonna go into the window, sliding back and forth. Neo!
Whoa!
He's not gonna survive to Yato as he grabs a bite of that burger.
Yato with a burger win. The first blood indeed on Isolated map. Finally, the fans of the 4Kings. Yato showing off already, popping off with the first blood. That's really great. And meanwhile, AXP Blue right now, we are expecting a lot from Blue, as we know already that Blue is really got some pro caliber skills, but not really getting any annihilation. So let's see, find out if he can get somehow his own first blood from the 3rd round. It's not too late though to perform well. Let's see what's gonna happen next, as we are seeing the back-to-back champion.
Hello.
TPB RG.
RG dominated the first 2 maps, and of course, as we see on our scoreboard, he already got 27. That means a total of 20 placement points. Of course, getting the top consecutively, plus 7 overall elimination points. 4 from the Isolated map, 3 from the previous Blackout map. But how many kills can he get in this second Isolated map? That's gonna be the question. As we can see on our screen right now, Spec here, he gets 2 points. Ayokona is just driving by in that vicinity, but of course, I'm not gonna care. I mean, I'm gonna leave Spec behind because I didn't know, I didn't even realize that he was there, but Spec realized it, that there's a potential fish I need to catch, and that's why he's chasing after him.
Right, and as we are showing you right now, Drex, who annihilated Yato earlier from the previous rounds. Let's see. Staying on to the road we go. Clearly got a lot of resources ready, and I'm not sure if he's going to decide to go to the New Vision City, as we all know that there's a lot of resources, but the player G is also out there, so you got to be careful. So it's a battle of 1v1 closer from the New Vision City, as they use the chopper right now to change the location. It might be a circus or maybe a state, but the better plan is to grab their own loadout. Speaking of loadout, I don't see any loadout from Toshi, but he upgraded his classes already, and we're going back to Yato. What a great choices. Oh my god, Thumper? But right now, a Thumper is not needed anymore because he got some haters, his own loadout, and still finding some golden attachment from the buy station we go. And KNS Valve's also one of the best players that we saw from the 2 previous rounds. So let's see if Yato will be pushing him, and Blue. Oh my god, this is the one that I'm talking about, brother. Blue still not able to get another, or you know, just the first blood. Toshi ending his game right away.
He got caught. He got caught by Toshi, and
Out of the blue.
Out of the blue. Yeah, I'm blue. Abuda. I mean, he got eliminated by Toshi. He got sent into that scope, being the second guy to get to be eliminated in this game. For Toshi, it's an easy point because in that situation, Blue is just defenseless. No one is there to rescue him, but it's an easy kill for him. He's not gonna lose any time in order for him to confirm that kill and probably get all of these items, get everything. RG, he's riding the vehicle right now without even realizing that Yato is just nearby, probably hiding in that warehouse. So for RG, I just sense that it's pretty much dangerous. I'm gonna leave, but Ayoko now, of course, he got knocked off the ground. But who is gonna get that finish? He's still there, but he's crawling. He needs some help.
Definitely no help coming through. But yeah, but we are seeing right now high. This time he's under the tunnel. Not too high though. But I think he got a sense that someone is out there, which is Kangkong. But I'm not sure if he knows that already, if he got some intel. Four Kings Yato right now taking the advantage of the hover bike and chooses to drive the rally car, which is the best vehicle that you can drive around a map, finding some intel, better position, and being in advance inside of the circle. So let's see if that's going to be the plan of Four Kings Yato in order for him to go on top.
Speaking of on top, Maxi is just on top of that hill. Speaking of ice, he wants to go on top of this rocky mountain. The circle is just there as they're trying to get in as the circle trying to compress the players inside the circle. One riding the chopper. I believe this is Natasha having an eagle eye on the sky, trying to fly on the edge of that circle, searching for more kills as Natasha, gets in the circle, heading towards Estate, probably having a chance encounter with S1. Estate is gonna be the name of the game. No one is gonna shoot that bird down, but it's all about the test of patience. I'm gonna be expecting a lot of kills later on in the stage of the game.
Right. Let's see if Four Kings Yato right now has some patience. He got to hike around a great vantage point to start with. And Mackley, you got to be careful though, because he got some hitters and that's his own loadout. With a combination of Ninja Class and his Nobi right away to create some space. Let's see if Yato will still be able to find a good aim, cracking out that this. Finally, another annihilation goes to Yato. What a battle. A great and sensational finish on the side of Four Kings Yato.
Yato definitely stepping up his game. He definitely popped off in this one. He got 2 kills, but he needs to go for more and he needs to be aware of the 14 players remaining in this game. So that same goes to the other players. Uy, chopper action here. Luke Chang and Natasha trying to chase down one another as Luke. That's quite dangerous move you got there. You're trying to fly a bird and then manning a gun at the same time. I mean, who's gonna fly the bird when you're aiming for the gun? So this guy is a pro. I mean, in terms of like handling guns and handling birds at the same time, he's really great at multitasking, I must say.
That's a great talent and a skills that you really need to have in order for you to execute that kind of gameplay. Here we go, Luke Chiang once again. He got a good number of eliminations from the 2 previous round, a total of 7 elimination with an overall 14 points. And Maxi on the other hand, let's see if Maxi will still be able to perform because he doesn't have any points yet for the 2 rounds. So let's see. And Bazhu, how is he doing it right now? Right now with the antelope in the farm, checking the perimeter. That's the only gameplay that we are seeing right now from Bao Shu.
Well, Bao Shu, one of the contenders hailing from the MYSG region. Of course, she is still searching for that points. Of course, she did not get anything from the first 2 maps, but this might be her map if she decided to go all out, decided to be super aggressive in this 1 versus 15 situation. So let's see how Vaoshu together with the other guy from the MYSG region fare off. Can they break the streak of RG or can they dominate this entire map, where we can see that the players are trying to outsmart each other as RG. Of course, as you've said, he's playing smart. He's sneaking around. But what is this? Flying cars? As we can see right now, Lucian decided to get out of the vehicle just to get punished by Yato. Oh my goodness!
Yato once again popping off with a great combination of the rally car. That's how you start the war. That's how you start the chaos. Hitting one with the vehicle and a great combination of the haters attack, and clearly got the win. That was really good. And right now, Maxi, Fast and the Furious action battle. Rally car versus ATV 911. You gotta call out and make sure that your call out would be something that you can have the advantage going on top. And ATV is also one of the faster vehicles that you can use right now, and that's the reason Maxi decided not to push in.
Well, for 911, of course, he managed to get away from trouble. He's just getting away from that potential pick off. And Ice right now crawling down the hill for Doofin, chasing him up. He's gonna try to jump in or climb in. Hopefully this is not gonna be a Jack and Jill situation where he's gonna tumble off. But for Ice, he's not gonna see the light of day as Doofin, of course, gets that point. Toshi also waiting at the edge, but he decided to bat it inside the circle. 911, oh, he decided to check out the building, but does he realize that someone is in the building? For 911 decided to pop off that shield, and RJ decided to one-shot him off.
That's really also a clever defense, though. A defender being activated in a perfect way. But the thing is, RG knows what to do. Great offense indeed, finishing him off. That's a clever and smart way to end his game. And moving on to the Toshi, he knows already the location of Doofin. It's a matter of time if he can go ahead and close out the gap and push in. He got the Snowbee that he can definitely use in creating some space. Right now, Kangkong is on top of the hill, checking some footprints, checking some noises, checking the perimeters. Toshi still chasing Doofin at your back. Misses a lot of shots. The question there, how committed he is, but decided to do some reset though because it's really too far. But with the ninja class help, let's see if he can have a chance to knock down Doofin.
Doofin here, now on low. He's gonna be on the low ground. Toshi chasing him off. They're gonna be trying to play tag, cat and mouse, chasing each other, wielding that katana just to chop him off. Probably, you know, he's quite quick on his feet. Yato now on top of this triangular roof, scouting for potential kills. Currently having 3, still looking for more, and I can see 3 people. Hopefully Yato can see that, with Natasha being the 4th guy on flying that chopper, and now all eyes on the hind as Yato pops off that hind, but that hind is just popping a lot of missile downhill because he's being threatened by some potential players trying to destroy that hind. Natasha decided to jump it off.
Wow.
But he's defenseless.
Defenseless indeed, but for Kings Yato, that's really too risky because he's revealing his position to the 4 players near him. That's the reason we are choosing and changing the POV to Doofin. It's still a long rally battle between Toshi and Doofin. Yato once again with a Snowbee, trying to create some space. Let's see what's going to be the position that he's about to make. Looking at it on foot right now. Still trying to find a better loadout from this arsenal. Looking at it with the Jackdaw from his back. Let's see how evident Jackdaw will be a good help for Yato. But RG still a lot of patience, a great discipline from the 2nd level of this huge mansion.
Huge mansion, Mel's down low, RG just setting his sights of that nature. Yato once again going for directs. Directs now crawling for help. And now Yato quite hungry, I must say. Okay, for Yato, definitely a huge step up. That's his fourth kill. 10 players, including Yato. Kangkong also active in the battleground. Kangkong still searching for that kill. But can he do it? Hai is just nearby. But Hai, is he expecting someone in this area for RG? Okay, time for me to step up. One kill isn't gonna cut it. I
Wow.
need to hunt for more, and that's
Wow.
why I'm gonna go for Melvs.
Here we go, but that's really a good connected shot. Huge damage. Baoju right now underneath RG, and RG got some intel at your back. An easy kill from TPB. RG with his Snowy trying to adjust the position and definitely trying to make sure that he's still being safe. And Yato on top of the hill. He got his own revenge from Drex because he was able to knock him down. And Yato once again on high ground, checking the perimeters. He knows what he does. There's a lot of players in front of him, and that's the reason he's making sure that no one will be attacking him from behind and focusing all of his energy right now from the two
Duven.
soldiers, and that's going to be his advantage. High ground is back, rocking out advance. Here we go with the rewind. Can he get the knockdown? Here we go. He got one piece. That's insane. A total of 5 for 4 kings. Yato.
Well, he tried to take back time with that rewind play, but Yato is quite the hungry guy that is popping off right now.
Wow.
With Yato being punished by Doofen, I even thought, and everyone thought, that it's gonna be the game for Yato, but Doofen, he denied him, and now Hai, Doofen, Natasha, and RG once again running for third time. Okay.
All right, let's see how this is going to go. Too unfortunate to Four Kings Yato. It was really a standard situation. High getting that point, and here we go. High ground for RG. Definitely being smart enough to check and make sure that he got a clever way to get another point. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about with the rewind. Can he commit it? Can he get that win? Here we go. Another try. Finishing that Tasha. Oh my God. 3 annihilations. TPB RG.
RG right now, he needs to somehow find an information on where the other guys at. Hai and Natasha, or Doofen rather. Of course, they're trying to, analyze the situation. Doofen went low. He's gonna try to chase down RG. RG, this is his playing ground. Doofen fell for the trap. Defender set, shields up.
Woo.
And now Hai on the high ground, trying to make his shot. He's now on the even field where he can see both of the players as RG trying to climb up as fast as he could, Clark.
Here we go. Let's see if TPBRD will still be able to go up. And that's going to be one of the difficult situations that he's in. And Doofen also finding himself right now on the edge of the safe zone. And High using that huge rock at the edge of this rocky mountain. The question there, who will grab the win? Is this going to be a triple victories for TPGRG as he annihilate Doofen? Another 1v1. Is this going to be a clutch coming out from High? Or RG once again will claim the victory at the very end? Here we go as we close out the gap. And we are seeing some great spaces at the ends, outside of the zone with a rewind. Getting some damages high. You just really need to find a ways on how to attack RG. And here we go. RG once again for the third time, getting the victory.
RG, this guy is just collecting wins, maps after maps, and I believe that this has been the highest kill record that we've seen in this map, or rather in this entire day. Out of the 3 maps, Clark, 5 kills, quite insane. And RG once again adding like 15 points in his current score of 27, so that's a lot.
He's really insane and amazing. That was really the third win that he got coming back into the isolated map, and this is going to be some of the highlight reels that we had from the previous round, so where we're seeing some greatness from all of the players playing around to the hill, collecting some kills and getting some damages. And the Hades, clearly the the meta from this BR Solo Grand Finals. A huge damage coming through. Luke Chiang not able to make it from Four Kings Yato, but at the very end, TPBRG is really the smartest guy from the isolated map once again, claiming the victory at the very end. But it was really a close battle earlier, because I thought High got the advantage because he got a high ground. Clearly, if he is clearly being careful enough to attack RG, he got some chance. He got a higher chance in knocking down RG, but the zone is really not favorable to High, and that's the reason RG clearly got some, I should say, a good and commanding win on the final round.
I mean, in that 1v1 situation, High actually had that high chance of getting that kill, you know. With the two remaining players, RG, of course, and Dufin, I believe he got that high on that, he got that ice on the high ground. And in this compression of circle, this forced High to somehow play at the edge. And for RG, of course, you mentioned, he's playing smart, and he knows that the circle is gonna force High to somehow meet him in the middle. And when he's in the middle finally, when he's at line of sight, he decided to shoot his shot and get that third victory of this isolated map. But I wanted to also mention that in this isolated map, Yato did step up. A lot of fans, of course, in the chats right there, they're spamming NC. Nice, of course. But when he got caught by Dufin, from NC, it became NT. Nice try. I must say it was nice.
Nice try indeed. But you were right in saying that Four Kings Yato indeed clearly performed on the previous round. In fact, he got 5, as you can see from the match rankings. But at the very end, as you can see, TPB already got the victory. So that's why he got another bonus points with overall points that he got, that brings him to the top. Clearly a force is to be reckoned with. Let's see how this is gonna go right now with overall rankings, as we are seeing High earlier got the highest opportunity to claim the victory. Maybe he choked out, we don't know, or maybe he's just being pressured because he's clearly at the edge of the safe zone fighting against TPB RG. But RG with a Jackton finish, that's insane.
That is insane indeed. And as I've said, 5 kills, highest in the room. And a direct challenger, Yato, also bagged 5. As I've said earlier, this guy definitely stepped up his game. Without a doubt, he has been a top contender into getting that victory in that isolated map. But Dufin denied him on the spot. Now let's check for Dufin. Dufin, of course, it's the high time for him to expand those points. He currently have 7. For Yato, he climbed up the ranks. He already got 12. But for RG, a lot of climbing. There's a lot of climbing that players need to do. For Luke Chang, he got 14. A huge gap of 42. Of course, they have to be consistent at this rate in order for them to kick RG out of that top spot.
That is definitely true, and a lot of points that they really need to work out in order for them to be crowned as champion and get the $500 and definitely a bragging rights by being crowned as champion for Community Gladiators Ascension Season 2 BR Solo. But for now, the one that we're only seeing, only one face on a map rotation, which is, you know, none other than TPBRG. So let's see what's gonna happen, because we keep on wishing to have another phase that will appear on our map rotation and for the winners. And as we remind everyone right now, for this BR Solo, they started, or this Community Gladiators Ascension, we started with a qualifier stage. We started at June 25th, ended on June 28th, and followed by the group stage. And right now we're at the grand finals of BR Solo. If you remember, last night it was BR Squad, where 4 Kings being crowned as champion, GNR Eternal being crowned as second, and if I'm not mistaken, Leap main team being third, and Leap and Bound being fourth. Or maybe I was wrong with the Leap and Bound and Leap main team. But those are the crazy teams that we have in our BR community. As you guys are seeing, that the BR Solo started with 44 soldiers, and then from the group stage it became 30, and we chose 20 players for the grand finals. And that's the players that we are watching bringing their A game for this grand finals.
And of course, out of those 20 players, Clark, only 3 will get the fair share of that huge $10,000 US prize pool, where the champion, of course, is gonna get $500 US, quite big, I must say. 300 for the second placer and $200 US for the third one. So that's a whopping of $1,000 US for this entire BR Solo alone. So that's why players, they need to step up their game, because if they wanted to have that $500 US, it's all yours for the taking. Remember, there's no one for you to share that $500 US. It's all yours alone.
Speaking of step up, I wanted to see Luke Chiang, because he's being consistent on the second placer, right? And but although we know for a fact that it was really a huge gap in terms of the overall points of TPGRG. He got 42 and Luke Chiang got 14. Who knows? He might be doing some miracle and doing a lot of work on the 4th round, because we're gonna go back to the blackout. Maybe Luke Chiang will get more annihilations and grab the W at the very end, so that he can earn more points and be closer to TPBRG at the very end. Who knows? I really wanted to see a different face from today's matches. You can see only one face that we are only seeing from the 3 rounds already.
Yeah, RG for 3 consecutive maps. And I believe if I am the guy, I wanted to go for the 4th time. So let's see if RG can step up his game and be consistent all throughout this entire 3 remaining maps, or are we gonna see potential players stepping up? Yato, Luke Chiang, top contenders for this entire tournament. But let's see if there's other players from the bottom that's gonna try to make their move in this blackout map. So we can see the plane, it's going upwards, down up in that north area. So it forces players to probably go east, go west, drop from left and right, and decided to go for a very comfort drop picks, and then load a lot of weapons and probably toughen up with their armor. So let's see, the action is still here, and I want to see more potential kills.
Potential kills is the key comfort drop that we are talking about, as we are seeing 4 Kings Yato dropping off to the same construction site building, which is clearly the building of the 4 Kings, and also the Leap and Bound and Leap main team. So let's see how effective that construction site for 4 Kings Yato. But meanwhile, we are showing you the player of Luke Chiang of Team J. Let's see if he can grab some essential weapons that he needs to have in order for him to start a good fight. As we are seeing Maxi right now rotating from this building, he got a lot of weapons, and hearing the rally car of Luke Chiang, the question here is if Luke Chiang will be possibly pushing Maxi or not. As we all know, Luke Chiang knows how to make a play. He got a lot of eliminations from the 3 previous rounds. So let's see how this is gonna go for him. But Ice, clearly too cold to perform.
Yeah, for Ice, definitely he needs to be focused on this game. Ice on the prize, actually, as this guy only gets 2 points. So in order for him to expand his points further, that means he needs to focus on the goal. What's the goal? It's either play aggressive, just like Yato, or play it smart, like RG. So choose your poison, pick your poison. Decide on your gameplay. Some of them are trying to, camp it out, probably play passive. It's all part of the strategy, I must say, because it's how you survive. That's at the end of the day, what's important is that you have to be the last guy, the last player standing. So you have to do whatever it takes to get that win. So you can play it out, be the last guy, even with 1 kill. That's fair. You just have to get 10 points and or probably pop it off, play aggressive. Because at the end of the day, if you reduce the numbers of the players here in the map, that means there are less threats for you to consider. There's less threats for you to count. So it's going to be in your favor as well, because getting a kill, it's a point for your entire scoreboard.
Exactly. And all you got to do is make sure to really be clever enough to find ways on how to survive. And that's the point that brother Vince is making already, because of the bonus 10 points that you can get if you manage to survive longer and crown as the first or the last player standing. And let's see, it's a matter of time for you to be smart enough on how to calculate your points that you can get, even if you only have 1 point from this round. As long as you grab the win at the very end, that's going to be a total of 11 points right away. You might be ending with the 3rd or 4th placement from the overall rankings, because as we are seeing right now, it's going to be a close fight from the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
It's all about that fight. It's all about who's gonna be on that spot. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, quite congested, I must say. There's a lot of top contenders. I mean, for Yato and Hai, they both have 12 points. So it's all up to them in order for them to kick Toshi or Luke Chang out of that, pull their leg down, and make their entry to the top 3. After all, prize pool is being shared by the top 3. $1,000 in this BR alone. That's gonna be the prize. And as for the champion, may I remind you, everybody, $500, and that's why we can see some of the players are heavily aggressive, and some of them aren't even playing smart. For Luke Chang, it's not the end of the game, ladies and gentlemen. Luke Chang, it's possible for him to still make his mark and probably go for a 3 maps victory in this last 3 maps. So let's see if he can pull that off.
Let's see if Luke Chan will be able to make it, because below him, that's Toshi. Toshi is also good in terms of making a play. The question there, if Toshi will still be consistent enough playing in a blackout map once again, as we are seeing a lot of Fast and the Furious action once again, a battle of vehicles, a chasing gameplay that we keep on seeing, SMRs, and I don't see any sniper though. This is really interesting, because in BR squad we keep on seeing, though there's a lot of players, definitely they have different roles, but here they decided to go with LMG and SMRs. That's the trend that we keep on seeing. Close quarter battle right now with the rewind testing his opponent. That's really a good chance for Luke Xiang, but he recognized that he doesn't have a good position, and that's the reason he went away.
Yeah, probably intimidate his opponents, crash and burn, activate, trigger the rewind, and then get out of that encounter safety. Just introduce yourself. Hey, I'm the guy that's gonna get you later on, but not today. I'm gonna try to get better items. So if you try to chase me further, then that's gonna draw the line, brother. I'll be ready.
That is definitely true, and that's one that we witnessed from Luke Chiang as being the second top player from the overall rankings. Let's see if the leaderboards will be changing, as you guys are seeing as well. That's really the overall points that we are showing you right now from the screen, from the top right corner. Looking at Yato once again with the Hades. That's a quick annihilation, the first blood from his bag.
Yato here making his move, trying to get his first point, first blood of this entire game, ladies and gentlemen. Yato, can he continue to ignite the flame in his body, in his heart, in his soul? Can he get more kills? But can he finally get that win? But 911 here, and Baozu is on a pretty tight spot, and Blue also feeling blue at the moment. Got punished once again. So with that first encounter from Yato, first elimination for this entire map, a lot of players are now dropping for Ayokuna. Okay, it seems like this guy wanted more and he's trying to chase ice.
I'm a fan of Ayokuna because I keep on seeing that IGN, and from the killer feed he has some engagement but still surviving longer outside of the zone and still showing that, you know, persistence. And still, it's kind of like something that we need to talk about always, that Ayokuna keeps on existing and still trying to make a play, and just like that, Melv's crawling to the ground because Luke Chiang finishing him off. That's insane from that huge mansion.
For Luke Chang, it's all about maintaining his dominance in the top 3. And with that aggression, 1 point is going to be added into his numbers. But as we're talking about the top 3, of course, we can see Yato making his move. He also wanted to climb in the top 3 spot by adding another kill count into his numbers game. So Yato, we can see the flame on this guy right now. Can he continue the momentum? Can he finally earn the right to get his picture placed in that map rewind later on? I wanted to see that. Yato wanted to see that too, and everyone wanted to see that. But let's see how far Yato can go.
How far he can go. Finding a group is the key, but Spec doesn't have any group, bro. He keeps on missing. And that's really hard with the use of that HDR. Sniping it out. I was heard by Spec, because earlier I'm trying to say that no one is using sniper, but this time we are seeing Spec clearly got some expectation that he is really using a sniper. That's really a good catch coming out from our director. Thank you so much. And back to right now with this vehicle. Here we go, rotating from the oceans. I don't know what's gonna be the plan there, going out from the water, but Neo, I don't know what's going on from Neo, trying to play safe, and that's part of the strategies. Like in BR Solo, you're going to, you know, some of the fans, some of the viewers are questioning why they're camping. It's part of the strategies because, you know, there's no one there to get their own dog tag. There's no support at all. You're the only one playing, and if you made a mistake, that's the end of the game. So that's the reason it's understandable for them to really find a good positioning. Camping out is also part of the play styles that we are seeing right now from all of the players.
Can't blame them. Can't blame them.
Right.
If they're playing for points, they're gonna try to play it smart. So it's all about how you play your cards right. So ladies and gentlemen, of course, everyone wants some action-packed map. And of course, we are seeing that from Yato, and Yato decided to somehow give up the pursuit. He's chasing High, and he let High off the hook, and he decided to go on separate ways. But there's another target Yato is chasing, and that's going to be Luke Chang, the second in the scoreboard. So if he eliminated Luke Chang out of this game, that means Luke Chang is not gonna expand his points further. That's a nice strategy for him. And now the rewind, also rewind action. You're not gonna go anywhere, and now I'm gonna chase you in the depths of this bridge as you go on. No one's gonna help you, and this is my time to climb into the top 2.
Yato wins the race. Ending the game of Luke Chiang. That's the one that we are saying that one mistake can end your game right away. Here we go. Doofin, is that going to be the mistake? Close quarter battle. Oh, that's a huge damage coming out from Dashi. Being consistent on the top contender. He's at the 3rd place from the overall rankings, and he keeps on performing. Toshi with 2.
Toshi getting his 2nd, but can he look for his 3rd right now? Now the action is quite fast, ladies and gentlemen, and players are not even forgiving. If they see someone, they're gonna try to eliminate them fast, so they cannot react anymore. Yato now continuing his chase with High, but of course, see you again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not gonna chase you. I'm gonna try to prioritize other targets that are defenseless. Drex now getting into the action. Now the circle's quite small, and that will be forcing the players to get inside. But for them, it's all about the patience play. And High just chasing down Yato, being chased down Drex. So this is gonna be a 3-way battle, just saying hello to each other. Are they doing some car show of some sort?
It's a battle of rays, and it's a battle of the placement. I kid you not. That's the one that we are seeing right now from these players driving around all of the vehicles available from the Blackout map. And true enough, because we keep on seeing that one consistently, a lot of rally cars, muscle cars, and Yato being the best driver right now. He's just patiently waiting for the mistake of High and do the same thing that he did from Luke Chiang. Here we go. High still with a muscle car, and here we go. Let's see how good he is maneuvering his own car right now and being ahead and still gathering some intels right now around the area.
Now Yato still chasing High. Can he bump off to this guy? But there's a lot of potential players that can be involved in this situation. High and Yato on hot pursuit. Glad there's no Hind to cover all the action, but High and Yato, can this end? Can the chase end? That's gonna be the question for RG. Of course, I'm not gonna show myself up until this small circle. I'm gonna go in and save myself from trouble. Natasha is just in that area as well. For Neo, of course, he's in the circle, and he's so sick of that circle, he's gonna go in.
He's gonna go in, definitely so sick, because he's having a hard time to maneuver the ORV out there. Finally getting some damages though, staying longer outside of the zone, staying at the edge. Natasha is closer to him. Let's see if there will be any action from these two soldiers. Let's see how this is gonna go, as Natasha clearly using that brick house, which is a good defense that he has, and definitely on the 2nd level of this building. Meanwhile, Yato still rotating. It's a good thing that he got a groove already. It goes to show how confident he is, and that's the reason he keeps on consistently making a lot of noises, revealing his position, because he knows for a fact that if someone attacks him with the SMRS or FSJ, he knows where to go and do some damages or somehow get a win.
And now we can see Mackley trying to really position himself just at the edge of the circle, but being at the same house, same building. Spec here, trying to eat a lot of bullets coming in from Neo. Neo now not giving up on the chase. Spec right now decided to stay, but no, he was outside the circle. He's gonna go for the chase, and Neo goes towards the right side as him trying to get out of safety, but Yato snatches that kill out of nowhere, and now this will force a Yato versus Neo in the open.
What a surprise for using the rewind. Neo once again. This is going to be a rewind class versus rewind. So who will be the best class that we are about to witness? Is that going to be Neo? Is that going to be Yato? Yato right now taking good care of this position, being clever enough not to push in. He is definitely having a great defense. Meanwhile, Neo chooses to stay because he knows for a fact that someone is also out there checking the perimeters, watching his 6. And Yato right now goes going inside of the zone, taking the advantage of the supply box. And DRMS is also out there. We only have 10 soldiers to go right now before we end this 4th round. Who will be crowned as champion? As Yato cracking out that vest with the rewind once again. He knows already the position of Neo. Is this going to be the end of Neo, or Yato will be dropping down?
No, Yato and Neo, of course, things have to end. Yato decided to put the matters into his own hands, and Yato once again getting 5. But in the previous map, Yato got taken out before he gets his 6th kill. But can he survive, and can he get more kills? Yato, quite the hungry guy that we see right now, but I believe this guy is quite hungry for that win.
Let's see the hungerness and High being thirsty for blood. Getting a point. 5 annihilations coming out from Yato. Hades trying to destroy that vehicle, and High still being on top. Still trying to do some reset. Drex right now clearly taking a good positioning, and Yato still using that vehicle, being confident, running around the map, and Ayaw Kuna again still surviving.
Yato here in the area.
Whoa.
Rocket launcher being flaunted into his face. Magli, he got taken out by Yato. Yato unforgiving. He got his 6th. And now vehicles are going to try to run him through. Force him outside the circle. Ayoko Na is just there driving by. Yato trying to steal some shot. Natasha is the priority. He got taken down. He got taken down. 4 players. Yato is in play. And now Direx Ayoko Na is still here. Yato enduring the pain in the blue.
Clearly got a lot of patience. He knows what to do. Yato annihilating 7 right now. Oh, what is going on right now? Close quarter battle. Tashi doesn't have any choice. Ayoko Na decided to go. And Yato once again outside of the zone. And definitely we only have 3 soldiers who will grab the win. This time it's not going to be Yato. Is that going to be Tashi or Drex? Able to drop down Yato earlier. So let's see how this is going to go now, brother.
RG is now out. I mean, there's a new face that's definitely getting stamped. Finally, there's a new face getting stamped here. The circle right now forcing these 3 players to meet each other in the middle. Yato gets close, finds in the tree, rewinds him out of that situation. Yato punished Drex. Toshi now hiding his body in that tree line. Yato cooking something up. Throws something. That nade isn't gonna impact Toshi. Toshi on the high ground. He's gonna throw another. He only got 2. And now the exchange of nades. The tree line preventing Yato to get scratched by that nade. Toshi decided to get close. Yato decided to make it personal, but can he go for that cleanup? And Toshi, Yato having the better angle, punishes him down. He's gonna go near, and he's not wasting any time. Yato finally did it.
Yato claiming the victory. What a war, what a battle. Yato with a burger. Finally, with a new phase. On tonight's matches, finally after 3 trials that Yato doing hard, this time he got the victory at the very end. For the fans of 4 Kings right now, go wild and crazy from the chat.
Yato right now, look at this guy. Of course, he's holding that sweet bite of that burger, ladies and gentlemen. Man, this guy cooked and this guy ate a lot of players. Now we've seen 5 being the highest eliminations in a single map. This guy, Yato right here, he set the record. I mean, how many kills? Probably 8 or 9? This guy is trying to crawl his way back, and maybe he's gonna try to steal the top spot from RJ.
He got the most kills. He got a total of 9. Totally creating a record for the BR Solo with the most kills for just the previous round. As we are seeing the highlights right now, this is really a clever gameplay coming out from Yato. Clearly pushing and being aggressive with the use of that Hades, and clearly being confident enough, finding his own groove, driving around the map with the use of that muscle car, and also the other players playing it safe, trying to destroy all of the vehicles around them with the use of that SMRS. But the thing is, with the rewind class, come on man, that's something that you can be able to use and have an effective position to where you can create some space to where we are seeing, although we are seeing some close quarter battle, but the rewind class clearly gives you some edge in terms of dodging the bullets and going back to the same position and surprising your opponent to finish the fight. And that's the one that we are witnessing not only from Yato but from the Luke Chiang as well. Earlier he did some rewind, and Toshi doing the same thing, a rewind versus rewind, but at the very end, Four Kings Yato grabbing the victory.
And grabbing that burger, I must say. Okay, grabbing that victory, grabbing a bite of that juicy burger, ladies and gentlemen. You've talked about rewind here, Clark, and that rewind was put into a very solid use by Yato. I mean, how many times did he rewind himself out of that sticky situation? He even used rewind to chase another guy using that rewind. So there's no one is safe from Yato, I must say. And rewind, of course, if there's a rewind skill in real life, I definitely wanted that, because I wanted to go back from that mistake to undo it.
Okay, which is I could say a smart move, right? So that, you know, if you commit a mistake, you will be able to correct it because of the rewind. And speaking of the rewind, this is the match rankings with the rewind class. If we keep on popping from the previous rounds, and Yato being on top clearly got the victory with a total of 19. That's a huge points difference from any other players. But the question there, can he be on top on the overall rankings, or RG still being the top fragger?
For me, it's a huge step for Yato. He definitely stepped up. I can see some hints of him stepping up in the previous map, but this map is all his. He decided to step up his game and then get 9 kills. Just look at how hungry this guy is. Literally in this map alone. I mean, after 9 kills, the highest one is 3 kills. So no one can top that off. I mean, if Yato can be consistent in the last 2 maps, he can now bag this. He can now challenge RG in the top spot. And what's good about this map is that I believe RG didn't get a single kill, or probably 1. But I mean, the score for RG is quite low. So with that, look at Yato. I mean, he can go for a very solid climb here if he decided to pop off with that kills with 31 and 42. He just needs around like 9 more points, stopping RG for accumulating a point, and then Yato, of course, doing his thing, probably get another win, or probably get a solid amount of couple of kills, you know, establishing his dominance. Last 2 maps, definitely to watch out for RG, Yato, also Toshi being here. D-Rex, can he climb up to the top T? That's the biggest question mark of this game yet.
Right, and that's the overall rankings for the 4 rounds that we already had, and Toshi being consistent on the top 3. But I should say, Luke Chiang right now, he's being consistent, being on top 3 from the 3 previous rounds. But too unfortunate, because of the loss, Luke Chiang failed to do it, failed to stay longer from the top 3 players. And like I keep on mentioning earlier, ayaw ko na, brother. He doesn't have any kill though. He doesn't have any kill, but right now he's being one of the top 10 players. But speaking of the top 10 players, ayaw ko na, although I want to have a lot of actions, but we still need to have a break. So we'll be right back after this one.
Last two maps, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back here to the Call of Duty Mobile Community Gladiator Season 2 Ascensions. And we see Yato definitely trying to ascend his way to the top with that aggressive play from the previous map. Vince G, Super Clark is with you in this last two maps, and what are we going to expect in this last two? I'm quite excited.
Me too. Let's see what's gonna happen because Yato needs to have 11 annihilations and still crowned as the winner from the two remaining rounds in order for him to steal the trophy of champion from TPBRG. That's the only point difference that they had from the overall points that we had for 4 rounds already. And this is the one that we wish. The wish has been granted. We have a different face. Finally, the phase of the burger on round 4.
Well, are we gonna see the same pattern as RG? So if RG dominated the first 3 maps, can Yato make his mark into this last 2 map? But I can see some players stepping up, just like Yato. So hopefully we can see another player to take on the challenge, but I wanted to see some other players break the records being set here by Yato. Getting 9 kills in a single map? That's quite high. So, who can definitely beat the streak, ladies and gentlemen? If Yato beat the streak of RG, who's gonna be the one who's gonna kick him out?
And that's going to be interesting. It's going to be something that we need to watch and witness. And we are so excited right now as we start the 5th round. To all of the fans of the Call of Duty Mobile, this is the Community Gladiators Season 2 Ascension, to where legends are reborn. They ascend. The battle begins now.
It begins. The final map for this evening, the final isolated map to be exact, and this is gonna be the final time that the players can touch the grass of this map. So they need to decide on where should they drop and where should they go. And with that, are they gonna be more passive? Are they gonna be more aggressive? That's the biggest question mark yet. And we have to see the race between Yato and RG. But it's not only about them, you know. There's a lot of contenders like Luke trying to, climb his way as well into the top 3.
And the reason why I'm laughing because I'm seeing Ayoko na driving around with the antelope as early as we speak. We just started our 5th round and he got some vehicle already. And I think that's the start of driving around the map. And that's the only gameplay that we keep on seeing from Ayoko na. But it really works though. He got some placement points. He got some bonus points. And that's the reason Ayoko na still being one of the top 10 players that we have for this BR Solo Grand Finals.
A lot of players here are becoming cautious, and the circle, quite interesting enough, it decided to head west. Maxi, does he know that he has company in this entire place? That not only one, but there's 2 more other players that he needs to be aware of. He needs to be extra careful, but it's all about getting everything you need and get out of that situation. Yato trying to grapple his way up on the rocks, but is this gonna be anyone's game? Mackley trying to climb, and there's Spec down in that house. So can he go for a quick check?
Let's see if that's going to be a quick annihilation from these 2 players. Close quarter battle right off the bat. Mackley taking the advantage, getting the first blood from his bag. Mackley taking the advantage right now of the supply box. And that's really a great start right off the bat.
I mean, for Mackley, he did well with that rewind function. I mean, he just decided to dive straight, and then when he got that information, he decided to go back in time just to see him in that window. And then when he caught him in that staircase, when he decided to pull the trigger and then confirm the first kill in this map alone. First blood brought to us by Mackley, and we're gonna be seeing more as the game progresses. Well, for Neo,
Yep, for Neo earlier, he got so sick. Let's see if he's going to be mad with a shockwave being activated.
Hello.
That's an easy annihilation. Neo finally getting the first blood. That's really a good start for him right now. Maxi with a high ground. Let's see how this is going to go from the OG, because he heard some gunshots from Neo. So let's see if he's going to be committed to push in or not, as we are seeing eyes. Eyes, where are you at? I don't see clearly what's your plan right now. But Doofin, after having a great performances earlier, he is really not being consistent. Doofin right now clearly not showing up. He is only getting 7 total points. And Neo with a great start. Let's see if he will be motivated enough to start the war and rack up a lot of points.
well, hopefully that gets him that kick to somehow skyrocket his points into this game. But the way that we're looking for more points coming out of this player, yeah, there's a lot of possibility that the action may be quite high when the circle decided to shrink. So for the players that is outside, they need to be quick. They need to run as fast as they could, because you don't want other players to mark you out. I mean, if some players can gatekeep you at the edge or probably inside the circle, it's gonna be over for you if you got caught. But as for the other players, they're just enjoying their sweet time. I mean, it's just too early. The zone is not quite punishing yet. We can endure the punishment. Toshi still overlooking in his position, enjoying a lot of views in that Sakura trees. And as we go on into the other part of the map, for Ayoko na, this guy is the embodiment of never give up. The irony.
Never giving up, never changing the strategy. Vehicle is the key for Ayoko na. But Kangkong, let's see how this is gonna go. If this gonna be a good food that we all want, especially if we're talking about adobong kangkong. But that goes out to all of the Filipinos though. But yeah, it's checking out Four Kings. The reason why I mentioned that one, I'm so hungry right now, and that's the reason I mentioned adobong kangkong. But let's see if there will be any adobong kangkong performance from Kangkong. But right now on the POV, Yato definitely hearing the vehicles of Neo and Melvs right now. Into the farm we go, but no any engagement yet, no sign of footprints, and definitely trying to be ready for a lot of resources and definitely upgrading his class and trying to get some cash to buy his own loadout. Speaking of loadout, I don't see any loadout yet for Yato, but that's the only plan that he has and about to find a better opportunity. Is this going to be the perfect plan or not, as Yato not deciding not to attack, because he's definitely right now focusing on how to upgrade his class and buy his own loadout.
Yeah, it's all about prioritizing his safety. For Yato, it's all about how can he go into the top spot, because remember what's at stake here. Yato did the climb. He's not part of the top 3 up until he decided to step up his game in the previous map. And now look at his position, having 31 points. That means as the top 2, he already secured $300 US, but the game isn't done yet. Things can go between expanding your position in the leaderboard, expanding your money from 300 go to 500, or maybe get nothing at all if some people stepped up and kick you out of the top 3. Let's see.
Here we go. Mills being knocked down by Luke Chiang. Definitely looking for a better performance. That's really a good one. And Luke Chiang right now about to face Kangkong. Let's see if he is being cooked out by Kangkong. Here we go with the rewind. Getting that into already, and he knows already what to do next. Let's see if he's being committed to push Kangkong or not, or Kangkong will be cooking Luke Chiang.
Luke Chiang here, ladies and gentlemen. He's gonna try to somehow get as much close as to his target. Now, can Kang Kong see the light of day because he's being marked by Luke Chiang? But Kang Kong here, he's not letting go of where he's at. He's gonna try to play tag, and
Ooh!
you're it, Kang Kong. You're out.
Being cooked by Lok Chiang, and that's one that we are talking about because Lok Chiang, after being part of the top 10, if I remember correctly, he's at the 5th placement. Yep, Lok Chiang with 15 total overall points right now, getting to Annihilation. That's really good. Baozu, she really needs to perform because as of the moment, she's at 18th placement and doesn't have any points yet. Let's see if this sports bike will help her performing or maybe finding a better position to survive and being crowned as, winner at the very end. Who knows? Just like Ayo Kuna keeps on doing the same thing with all of the vehicles around him.
Well, let's see Neo here trying to pick up everything he could get in his position. Toshi, now being the top 3 here with 22 points. So it's not done. It's not over yet for him. If he can get the win, probably he can kick Yato out. And if he can get also the last map, if possible, that means he's going to be the top contender for RG. For Direx, of course, he needs to step up as well because points are not quite as far because
Right.
17 and 22 you can still chase him. One good pop, one good performance. But we can see for Direx, he can say hello to top 3. For Luke, one of the players that has been in the top 3, but right now they switch places with Yatos. He's in the top 5 right now, but I'm expecting to see Luke jump up somehow.
Let's see and find out. But Mackley right now checking the perimeters. We are seeing earlier TPBRG at the edge of the safe zone. Same strategy that he's doing. He's camping. He's definitely being passive. Mackley doing the same thing. Hearing some footsteps from Doofin. As we know, Doofin got some skills. And that's the reason Mackley right now taking his time, finding some good angle and a great vantage point that he has right here. And Yato once again with his Nobi. That's the best tools that you can have in creating some space and also trying to get away if there's any bad situation.
Speaking of getting away, how can you get away from the blue? You need to get away also from your opponents right now. Players are definitely getting their position. Some of them trying to run inside the circle for Dufin. Okay. It's
Not
all about
much.
paranoia. He's not gonna move. He's gonna stay where he's at right now, probably pretending to be a wall or probably waiting for someone to pop in that wall. So maybe paranoia, waiting for someone to get in that door, shoot his shot, and then go for that kill, giving him some boost. He's gonna be expecting that points, but Natasha, this guy, he loves to play high. He loves to play pilot in the sky.
Right, but he's always being the target of any other players from the ground. They keep on destroying that chopper. And true enough, going back to Doofin, like you mentioned earlier, brother, the man that can't be moved that we are seeing right now, not moving any muscle at all. Going back to the Yato, top of the hill, being the kings of the hill right now. Although he got no elimination yet, but that's really a good space and a plate area that we are seeing right now from Four Kings Yato.
For Baozu, okay, there's a lot of high hopes for Baozu. I believe she's the only female player existing here in this entire game, hailing from the MYSG region. For Baozu, hoping to get his or her first point and then most likely get her win. That's the name of the game. Yato holding a rocket launcher. Trigger discipline. He's not launching an attack just yet. Mackley high. Still on the standoff. Let's see if they're going to be seeing Natasha probably parking his hind near the area. exciting times, exciting moments. Standoff is gonna be the end game for each and everybody.
That's right, and we are seeing different colors right now from the circle. Let's see how this is gonna go, because as we are seeing some of the players still staying at the edge of the blue zone. But looking at it, well, the key here is like driving around, getting or checking the perimeters and surviving longer, because right now I don't see any FSJ or SMRS being used to attack or destroy any vehicles, and the man can be moved. Doofen's still around that wall, and it's kind of like, you know, someone telling him, hey, face the wall, and that's the one that we are seeing from Doofen. I don't know what he is doing out there, and maybe he's definitely enjoying the view of the wall. But look, Chiang, he got the elevation, and seeing TPBRG, this is really interesting, because TPBRG, we keep on seeing the same strategy to where he keeps on staying at the edge of the safe zone, passively playing, not really being committed to attack early, and it really works from the 3 rounds. The question there, how consistent he is, because 4Kings Yato taking over the 4th round, and we are at the 5th round already, to where it's been a long time right now that we don't have any engagement.
Yeah, been a long time being patient. Players trying to hold their guns, now trying to unload a lot of bullets. 15 players trying to fight for that top spot, being the last player standing in this map. Standoff, as I've said, it has been the end game for each and everyone. Definitely they should be having their position set, and that's why some of them are not leaving their position in hopes of someone just like Neo here waiting for somebody to cross that bridge. And for Blue, I believe he answered the call. I'm gonna one that's gonna cross the bridge. I'm gonna be getting up close and personal with Neo. Can I take Neo out, not to dinner, but out of this game rather? But for Toshi, okay, I'm gonna make some move here. I'm gonna try to distract the other players just by riding my snowmobile. Neo here getting close to Blue trying to dodge every bullet. Neo punishes him off and takes him out.
That's really a good annihilation. You got 2 Ps. That's insane. We still have 14 soldiers to go right now on the boots, and clearly patiently waiting. Toshi trying to take good care of his position. As we know, Toshi still the top 3. Yato right now trying to make a play. He got no annihilation yet. He is being pressured because he needs to have 11 annihilations. Oh my god! Neo with the attack. Yato not really expecting that one coming, and that's the end game of 4Kings Yato.
Oh my days, and now the fight's not over yet. Toshi being talked to by Neo. RG now making his move, goes for Ayoko now. Right now 11 players standing strong. Bao Shu is in the river trying to soak. She's gonna try to get up, but Neo says, you stay down, stay in that water. I'm gonna come close and I'm gonna put an end to your misery. Neo still popping. Neo wants to beat the record. 5 elimination, and he's still gonna look for more.
He's definitely on fire. Natasha doesn't have any P's yet, with the cloud of smoke being thrown with the antelope, and definitely trying to be quicker and trying to take his chances. Still able to survive. Looking at it, the standoff is definitely a chaos. A lot of different colors, and that's going to be the last map. As you guys are seeing, the zone is about the strength, so you got to be ready. They are being forced to attack right now because of the spaces that they're in. Cracking out that vest coming out from Neo, trying to get another one with a total of 6, but so far with no avail. With the frags, let's see if he can make it. A miracle throw, trying to create some damage to Doofen, finally not facing the wall.
Oh my. With Maxi getting Luke Chang. I believe it's gonna be hard for Luke Chang to somehow climb the top 3 spot because he got denied by Maxi. Maxi now trying to pop off. RG is trying to stay in that church. He's gonna try to pray that someone will be going in his area. As we can see, standoff. It's gonna be quite hot for these 7 remaining players with Doofen, Mackley, Natasha, High, and of course RG is gonna be there as well. Natasha, moving an inch. Neo is just at the edge, so it's anyone's game. I mean, there's a new kid on the block. Can RG reclaim his glory with Yato? He got denied for the possibility of owning this game, but can someone make their mark in this one? RG, can he get back his glory?
Let's see and find out as we are seeing the last zone. Here we go, the blue zone shrinking. They're all ready to attack. Natasha getting a lot of damages outside of the zone. Being quicker. Mackley's out there. Here we go. We will be seeing some battle. Close quarter. Knocking down Natasha. Just like that, Maxi with a close quarter once again. What a great knockdown. RG loses the battle. Mackley still surviving, but too late. Outside of the zone. We only have 3 soldiers. Oh, Maxi. Doofen is out there after facing the wall. He managed to get 2 Ps, and there's gonna be a 1v1 situation, brother. Just like that, Neo going outside of the zone. There's gonna be it from the other side of the island. Who will grab the win with the cluster grenade being thrown right now? Hades to go. That's an open area. Let's see who will be the greatest player from this match. A 1v1. Is this going to be Neo? Is this going to be Doofen closing out the gap right now, being ready to attack with a defender? Snowbee. Oh, in the air shot! Doofen finishing him off. What a victory!
What a game! Why did he go airborne? I believe he wanted to end that game with a style. And Doofen, after he placed that defender wall, he found an opening. Okay, I can see the guy not holding guns, jumping from up high, and then from up high you go low, and you're defenseless. Doofen steals the show, gets the victory. What a 5th map, I must say. This is quite the sight that we see. A lot of different players trying to compete into that last guy standing, and Doofen emerges as the victor.
Clearly stealing the show. Mackley had a good start, and still from the highlight reels that we are seeing, Mackley clearly stays from the standoff map at the very end, and Neo got a chance as well, as we are seeing some other players clearly trying to be aggressive earlier. We are seeing some great knockdowns from Luke Chiang, but too unfortunate before we end the match, Luke Chiang being found on top of the hill and loses the battle easily, and Luke Chiang being patient earlier with a rally car rotating from the buy station, and he got that point. Truly aggressive gameplay after being patient.
Being patient, and now the patient has a bit, it pulled off into his favor. Right now, he came up, he tried to bag wins Neo. I must say, he definitely stepped up. You know, he's the one that's very aggressive. You see a lot of montage of kills he did from that highlight. He already got 5. He's also looking for more, but at the end, he got denied just by jumping high, and then Doofen found an opportunity to strike him while he's up in the air. What an exciting moment. Behold, Neo, of course, nice game for him. He got a lot of kills, but at the end of the day, it's all about Doofen getting 10 points. So at first, he's just trying to, enjoy some pretty much solid view in the wall. But as a defender, of course, he's just practicing. He got a really huge wall right in front of him. See?
The man can't be moved, clearly moved out from the wall. and being ready to attack. In fact, that's clearly one of the highlight reels from this grand finals of Community Gladiators Ascension, just because of the great aim finishing the battle in the air. That's insane from Doofin. Although he only got 3 points, in fact, the most kills from the previous round was Neo. Can you imagine that one? But Neo not able to make it at the very end. So that's the reason Doofin clearly works out well, being crazy patient, facing the wall. Can you imagine how long are you face the wall without being crazy? and I think the craziness was being effective because he's on top.
Crazy wall presence. He's just, as I've said, he's just practicing. He knows that the situation, the end game might be that. You know, at the end of the day, he's gonna try to hide into his defender wall, and then Bird's gonna jump out right in front of him. It's gonna be a free target, and for Neo, I must say, his efforts definitely pulled off because he got 5 eliminations and 6 placement points, ending up the 2nd place. So 11 is not bad because he's just 2 points behind Doofin, who got 13.
And now the leaderboards, the overall rankings, we're still seeing RG being on top. 2nd placer still being Yato and Toshi. Being consistent, oh my god, but only 2-point difference from Doofin. So let's see if Doofin will still be doing the same thing, facing the wall on our last round.
Well, this is gonna be hard because Neo, if he got that kill, he got that victory. Imagine seeing 9 total eliminations plus extra 4 points. So that means he's gonna climb up and most likely being the top contender for Toshi, but for Doofin, okay, I need to do what I must in order for me to climb into the top 4. For Doofin, hello there. I am one map closer to secure the top 3 because the top 3 is what's important. And for everyone here, of course, it's all about how will you play. You have to strategize that placement points. So in order for you to secure or to be the last guy standing, be as patient as Doofin. Get out of the wall and then strike at the last moment, you know.
It really works though. It really works. Doofin got the victory at the very end. But again, I would like to mention Ayoko. From the previous overall rankings, he's at 8. Right now, it didn't work. The plan didn't work because he's at 11th place. So let's see what's going to happen to Ayoko because, you know, we are moving on to the last round. But for Ayoko, if I were you, I'm going to copy the strategy of Doofin. Try to face the wall.
Face the wall. As a child, I definitely hate that. Hearing that. Facing the wall means punishment, but for Doofin, facing the wall means patience, and that patience lead him into a pretty solid standing, and he can be the top contender that can break the walls and make it to the top 3. And let's see how can Doofin do. What can he do in the last map, which is Blackout?
Right, here we go. Can we see some burger? Can we see some facing the wall? Can we see some camping from RG as we start the Community Gladiators Ascension, moving to the last round as we are starting the Blackout map once again. The battle begins now.
And it begins. The final map. So players now need to be extra careful. Earlier, players are being careful. Some of them are playing aggressive, but this time they cannot afford to risk it. Especially if you're on the top 5 and you're one of the front runners that can make an upset. So this is gonna be crucial because you don't want someone to kick you out in the top three, especially if you're Yato, especially if you're the other guys that can make or break borders. Toshi, as we've said, he's being consistent, but what if Dufin or Mackley, since they both have 20 points, can break that wall and then kick Toshi out? Also, we also have to see Luke Chang if he's gonna finally step
Right.
up.
Let's see if he still got some energy. Because right now he just really need to do few points only to secure the top 3 spot. But it's gonna be, a hard fought battle. So you gotta be ready for the final round. We are seeing RG once again. This time it's gonna be the same approach. For Kings Yato still being consistent in the construction site building. No one is really sharing the same location for now, especially on the construction building.
Now it's all time for the players to build up their strategy, just like Neo. Okay, Neo, of course, he needs to get that kill. Rewind time for Ayaw Kona because he doesn't want to fight, but there you go, you cannot quit. I'm gonna punish you. I'm gonna eliminate you. Neo gets his first kill of this game, and this he gave reason for Ayaw Kona to somehow leave the building.
Ayokuna gets it.
Yep.
He literally gets it. And that's the end game for Ayokuna. He won't be able to be part of the top 10 overall rankings as he ended the game early. Baoshu right here, definitely trying to somehow find some good loots because Baoshu, she knows already that someone is out there. High, definitely on the high ground. On the roof we go, looking for a better angle. Baoshu right now not revealing herself right here, trying to somehow find a great cover, looking at it because she knows already that someone is looking for her. That's the reason High having a lot of patience. With the ninja class we go, creating some space. Let's see if he can close out the gap. But so far, that's still a good space for the long range. And that's the one that I'm talking about. It's going to be too dangerous for Baozu because that's an open area battlefield. But High not really being committed to finish the battle.
Now for Baoshu, it's time for her to disengage. So he's gonna run for her life because he's being chased. You don't want to be eliminated because you still have something to prove in this game. Might as well get the juicy victory. Yato, on the other hand, can he make it? As I've said, for Yato, it's all about make or break. Can he kick RG in the top spot and add 200 more dollars into his price, or can he lose it all? Because there's a risk, there's a possibility that if some players decided to step up their game, they could catch up and then pull his leg down out into the top 3. You don't want to be like that. After all of the efforts that you did in the fourth
Right.
map and then finally getting your victory, some players might be after you. Remember, as the more that you get those points, the more the huge or the more the target on your back is becoming bigger.
I couldn't agree more. Well said. Here we go. Mackley finding some intel. No avail. Drex definitely camping around from the diners. You can see right here. Hike around and let's see how this is going to go because I still being cold. I doesn't have any chance of winning or being part of the top 10, but who knows, he might be doing some miracle from his performance. And for Maxi, still the same gameplay, and also Natasha with the use of the wings from all of the previous rounds that we had. But Dufin right now not facing the wall. He got the ATV right here, so let's see how this is gonna go for him. If he finds some building or any houses, as we see some close quarter battle. Maxi clearly seeing it clearly, knocking down his first blood.
Amazing show of aggression, and we can see the players. There's no time to lose. This is the final map, and the last time is definitely now. For Spec, the last time for me to enjoy the waters is now, and that's why I decided to, make the swim in order for me to get into the ground as much close as possible. For Neo, it's all about the hunt. One kill isn't enough. It's not gonna cut it. I need more. Neo having 15 points. So having 1 point in this map, nah, it's not gonna cut it for me. I need more. I need to get to the top 3 at least. Get the final victory, steal the show, and then make a surprise entry. RG, he's gonna play it smart. He's gonna play it safe. The attempt of him playing it safe didn't work, but speaking of playing safe, well, Doofin, of course, made an impact, and that's why he's in the top 4. And we have to watch out for him as well. And as for Blue, he went for high. Amazing. He punished him in the bridge.
That's correct. And Neo right now going on top of the brick building. Here we go. You gotta be careful, Blue. Someone is aiming at you. And that's what I'm talking about. Cracking out that vest. That's a huge damage. The question there if Neo will be closing out the gap and definitely deactivating that trap. You gotta be ready. But Blue able to do some reset. Here we go. The chase battle. Shockwave being activated. And Neo getting 2 Ps. Being consistent right now on fire after having 5 annihilations. The gunshots being heard by Natasha. Here we go. Let's see if Natasha will still be able to make a play. Oh, with a trap as well. Natasha, you need to be careful. Outside of the zone we go. Neo still being clever enough to create some space. And here we go. He's about to be ready. Attacking Natasha. And a lot of patience being shown by Natasha this time with a rewind. Here we go. We don't see any engagement yet. A lot of patience from these 2 players. Is this going to be Neo? Is this going to be Natasha? Neo right now with the frags. That's going to be a good start. Oh, that's going to be a cloud of smoke being thrown away to create some diversion. Natasha, let's see if he's going to really close out the gap and be committed to finish the fight, but decided not to commit.
Not to commit, ladies and gentlemen. Yato, of course, getting a move. He goes for Mackley, and Mackley is gonna be defenseless as we speak. 12 players trying to compete for that final victory. Yato still looking for more. If he can get hungry in a single map, might as well do it here again. But of course, that's the other players' mentality right now as they're trying to figure out how can they own this map, this final map. But for Neo, of course, we can see him pop off. So I believe not one kill can cut it off for him. He needs to go more. I need to hunt for more because he's Neo. He's gonna be mad if he doesn't get that win.
Right, I'm seeing RG again at the edge of the battlefield. I'm talking about battlefield, not the zone. And RG patiently waiting for the zone to shrink and still camping around from this huge map. Looking out, Yato still at the middle of the circle and about to face Luke Chiang, if I'm not mistaken. If the team, Slot J. Let's see how this is going to go right now. And I was right, Luke Chiang onto the bridge we go. It's kind of like a deja vu because they had this kind of scenario from the 4th round, and we are seeing the same strategies chasing around the map. Baoshu going outside of the zone. I'm not sure if that's really a great idea, although it's only a few damages that you can get staying outside of the safe zone because it's too early. We are just at the 3rd zone of the battle, and some of the players are expected to have their own arsenal, and a lot of soldiers right now clearly playing passively.
Yeah, passive is gonna be the name of the game. They're just waiting for some players to come close and probably, reap the benefits, reap everything that's coming for them. So if they waited patiently and get for that kill, just like that, Yato here, he decided to drive into this area and there's someone hiding in that car. So good thing he didn't pull the trigger and then fire some shots. Yato's gonna be alerted for Neo. Okay, he's gonna go for Maxi. Probably he needs to go for more. So as I've said, he's gonna be mad if he didn't get that victory this last map because he doesn't want to go to bed mad at himself.
I know that.
Okay. You get the reference.
Yeah, I know that. And that's the story that we are making right now, as you guys are hearing my brother Vince creating some of the reference for Neo, as we are seeing Four Kings Yato still being crazy, but I'm not sure if he can definitely break his own record of 9 annihilations. And here we go. Speaking of annihilation, he got 2 Ps. That's a quick one, and clearly on a mission to be crowned as champion. But let's see if that's going to be possible for Four Kings Yato, because RJ nowhere to be found.
Nowhere to be found for RG. It's all about protecting the lead. But wait, Luke Chang is gonna try to climb into this crane. Spec awaiting the company. He's gonna check where he's gonna go, and if he see that the hands is not holding the gun, that means it's gonna be a free shot for him. Spec, if you wanna take him down, now's the time. For Luke Chang, he's climbing carefully. He doesn't wanna risk it. For Luke Chang here, he's checking every building of this crane. Yato goes for RJ. Okay, that's a strong message, Clark.
I love
he
that.
wants to take him out. I mean, for Yato, if he can stop the points for RG, there's no count for you, brother. I'm gonna go and kick you out of the top spot.
That's definitely true. That's interesting. Finally, Yato stopping the top contender. The force is to be reckoned with in terms of camping. That's really true though. But right now, Yato ending the game of RG finally. Let's see how this is gonna go right now. This is really a great story to tell, a history about to be made for Four Kings Yato. Is this gonna be a great comeback or a chance for Yato to reclaim the victory? Here we go. Natasha loses the battle from the aggressive gameplay of Yato with 4 kills.
4K, 4 kills. Yato looking for more. Can he replicate the 9 kills? But of course, as we go back in the history, Yato decided to pop off in the second Blackout map. And the current map that we're seeing right now is Blackout. So if we're talking about territory, Yato may be having it. And remember, there's no competition after all, because RG is it's the problem that Yato has taken care of. So if he wanted to somehow accumulate points and try to challenge the 48, well, let's see, because
You got it.
Yato can contest and probably aim for the top spot.
But he needs to be careful though. I'm not sure what's happening with Baoshu. I thought it was an AFK. What a great van. This time, this is the first time I am seeing the van being used right now by Drex. Yato still with the rally car, still being consistent from the middle of this circle, going up to the hill, trying to be the kings of the hill. Eyes still too cold, as you can see right here. Oh my god, Duven, after facing the wall, being found by Drex. A devastating loss. He spent a lot of time facing the wall, but this time loses the battle from Drex.
Oh my days, 7 days of the week, 7 players right now trying to fight for that closure. Yato needs this closure in order for him to be the top guy. Drex right now trying to drive the minivan out of danger because he's being chased, and that sedan just slams him off the ground, playing bumper cars out of nowhere. Drex, nowhere to go. 5th kill for Yato.
That was really a quick one. Great maneuver, bumping the vehicle. And just like that, Yato with 5. He needs to be careful though, because we only have 6 soldiers on boots, and I still on that tree hiding from the branch of that tree, and Yato still being confident enough, creating a lot of noises, driving around with the rally car. Let's see how this is gonna go right now, if he's going to make a great history for this grand finals. This is the last round. Luke Chiang doesn't have any first blood yet, looking for one.
Eat ka na dinner.
Here we go.
He's gonna look for more, ladies and gentlemen, but Luke Chang here is gonna look for spec. Yato looking for target. Baoshu is just on the other side of that river.
Ooh.
Luke Chang right now. Spec is gonna be the target.
Wow.
Knocks him down, eliminates him down to the final 5. This is getting crucial, Clark, I must say. Yato can be the top contender, and Ice here pretending to be a chameleon. He gave up on that one.
Truly doesn't have any choice though to make a play and changing the location, and Ice doesn't have any first annihilation, and doing the same thing from Toshi. Since Toshi got the 3rd placement, that's a $200 already. He just really need to take good care of that position, or I should say that overall rankings, so that he can get a prize pool, a piece of the prize pool of the $1,000 for this grand finals of the BR Solo.
But the question would be, there's a lot of contenders that's gonna try to pull Toshi's leg. Is Luke Chang still in play? Toshi is quite alive. He's trying to hang on that tree. Baoshu, can she steal the show? Luke Chang, okay. This guy, if he can eliminate Toshi and get more kills, then that's gonna be the time that he's gonna take Toshi out of the top 3 spot. But on his line of sight, it's gonna be Yato. Luke Chang, oh no! You got spotted by Ice down beneath, and the possibility of him going on the 3rd place got denied by Ice. Ice currently the 13th, getting 3 kills. I mean, he's the guy that that's nothing to lose, just like with Baoshu. So it doesn't matter if they're gonna be reckless.
Here we go. Last zone. Yato performing. He got the intel. He just really need to be careful with the soldiers underneath that water. Focusing all of his energy right now to Toshi, getting some damages. Let's see if Yato right now reclaiming that victory. Here we go. Attacking. You got to be ready. You got to have a great defense. Open area battlefield. That's too risky for Yato going outside of the zone. Haters, we go. Just like that. Toshi finally being knocked down to the ground. And Yato clearing that opportunity right now. We only have 3 soldiers. And it's going to be an easy win. Let's see. You got to be careful with Ice because he got some good aim. This is it. Is it going to be Ice? Is it going to be Yato or Baoshu?
Well, for Ice and Baoshu, they can deny Yato. That's what they want. As I've said, these players, nothing to lose. They could be the poison for Yato. Again, rewind time for him. He can undo the things he needs to do. And now Ice, Baoshu, they could work hand in hand here just to punish and stop Yato from getting the top spot. Ice being targeted. Baoshu now out. 1v1 situation. Yato getting close to the target. They're spinning around. Ice with the grappling hook near the rock. He's gonna hide. Ice here being targeted. Yato being forced at the edge of the circle with Ice also at the other edge. And Yato seals the deal to close the evening.
What a battle, what a win. Clearly aggressive, on a mission, a man with a burger. 4 Kings, Yato, getting the victory. Congratulations.
And, of course, the question, the biggest question mark here, Clark. Did Yato made it? Because we've seen how personal this battle, this last map is for Yato. He taken out RG all by himself. So that means RG cannot get points, even placement, because Yato already took out the problem. So he's gonna be hard stuck at 48. But for Yato, he's gonna be getting an additional 10 plus how many kills did he get? 6 or 7, 6, 7, or probably 8. Let's see. I mean, that's gonna contribute a lot to his points.
I couldn't agree more. And from the rules that we have from these grand finals, or one of the rules that we have, if the scores were tied, it's going to be depending on the number of kills. So let's see how this is gonna go, because this is gonna be a close battle between RG and Yato, who will be crowned as champion. As we saw earlier, Yato ending the game early of TPB RG, which means if we're talking about most kills, even if they have, you know, the same overall points, it might be 4Kings Yato. Let's see and find out.
Well, it's all up to the math to decide if it's gonna be RG or Yato, but it's still RG, Yato, top 2 secured. But it's gonna be a game changer, because I was really expecting that some of the players from the bottom is gonna try to pull Yato's leg out and, you know, deny his points.
Definitely true. So let's see how this is gonna go right now. And because of the performances of 4Kings Yato not really being biased at all, we're checking everything, and 4Kings Yato really being dominant from the 4th round to 6th round, because Yato not able to perform well on the first round by using a ninja class, and he recognized that the ninja class is not the way to go, and that's the reason he changed his class for Rewind. From there, he was able to make it. He was able to really outclass his opponents, and that's the reason he managed to claim the victory for the 4th round, and also doing some clutch on the 6th round in terms of points.
Yeah, points is gonna be crucial for each and everybody, and I wanted to see how will be what's gonna be the end game. So a lot of recap of what's going on. Let's see who dominated the map. So for the first 3 maps, it's gonna be RG making a name for himself. So the last 3 maps, it's quite different. So round number 4, Blackout, Yato definitely shined his way through. So I was expecting that since he got the second half, he's gonna continue the streak. But there's an upset for Doofin to break the streak. But Blackout, the last Blackout, of course, it's gonna go towards Yato. So it's gonna be the battle of who is gonna be on top with these 2 guys in the picture.
Here we go. As we show the match rankings, we know already the 4Kings Yato got the victory at the very end with a total of whopping 17 points with 7 annihilation. Though he's not able to break his own record, which is 9 annihilations from the 4th round, but it's still a phenomenal performance. A great finish for 4Kings Yato on the last round, and followed by Ice, because he knows already on how to survive underneath the water. He got 1, 2 unfortunate for Luke Chiang, and Bao Shu being, I thought earlier it was an AFK, but Bao Shu just spending a lot of time not moving any muzzle at all, and that's the reason she managed to survive, and she got some bonus points.
Bonus points indeed. But for Yato, of course, he did not top the top 9 skills. 17 for him. And now, it's
Here we go.
It's time to see who is the champion. Ladies and gentlemen, still, it's close, Clark. They had the same points, but I believe the deciding factor here would be the number of wins. So, RG still on top. Oh my goodness.
That was really close. As you guys are seeing, we have the same scores. 48, RG, and Yato. Yato fell short with 1 point. Because looking at it, we're basing it on the number of wins. Because of the RG, his camping skills really plays out well in his advantage. That's the reason he is the champion for the Community Gladiator Season 2 Ascension. Legends are born. They ascend.
And RG did definitely ascend into victory, and that is why he's gonna receive a total of 500 US dollars once again Congratulations to TPBRG for showing that you can get the job done. Get those kills, get those points, be consistent, and tiebreakers are just close. You did manage to get more wins in this entire maps. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Battle Royale Solo, and it has been exciting. For me, Clark, any words that you can say to the audience right now who's watching?
It was really a great night. I know all of the fans of the Four Kings and the Four Kings Yato, they were sad, but still, in terms of performances, we know for a fact that Four Kings Yato did his best to be part of the top 3 teams, and he's definitely focusing on a goal to be crowned as champion. But too unfortunate though, he missed 1 point, and that's the reason he is not able to steal the trophy of champion to TPBRG. But it is what it is. A win is a win. Congratulations. This is it. Thank you so much for all of you guys who watched this grand finals. And again, let me show you what's gonna happen next for our schedule. As you guys are seeing, we started with the qualifier stage, followed by the group stage and the grand finals for the solo. And tomorrow will be the last day of the Community Gladiators Ascension. And to remind everyone, brother Vince, with the prize pool.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the prize pool is gonna be big for tomorrow. We're talking about MP team, $2,500. Second place will be getting $1,500 for the third place. But of course, for the champion, for BR Solo, he's gonna be walking home with $500. A total of $10,000 is being given away to winners. And tomorrow is gonna be our last day for Community Gladiators Season 2 Ascension. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure, sharing the desk with you, Mr. Clark, Super Clark, and for the audiences who's supporting their favorite players into getting those wins. Any final words for us to wrap things up, Mr. Clark?
It's great to see you and working with you once again. Thank you so much for sharing your talent and skills in commentating and creating some stories. A great narrative that we witnessed from my brother Vince. Thank you so much for all of the viewers, for all of the supporters of our Community Gladiators. This is it. Good night to all of you guys. My name is Super Clark, together with Vince G, saying good night. Adios.
Good night.